Good morning, you absolute gems. Welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso right on SABC3. I'm Ewan Stratham, and this is
Tabiso Makubela, but you can refer to me as your uncle, Tabsy. Welcome to it.
AKA the birthday boy.
Yes.
It's Taba's birthday today, man. He comes in here, it's like, hey, good morning, Ewan, it's my birthday, by the way. I'm like, wow, that's one way to start your Wednesday morning. Dude, happy birthday, man.
Thank you very much.
Hey?
I'm clinging on to the 20s, because today's the last time I can say that I'm in my 20s, because after that, I'm fast and furiously rushing for the 30s, but I'm feeling very
Once
good
you
today.
hit 30, it's good.
Oh, yeah?
It's so good.
Leanne was just saying to me that the 20s are the dress rehearsal and the 30s become your actual party.
There we go.
So
I like that, man. I like that. Well, happy birthday, man.
Thank
you can
you.
send this man as many messages as you want via our Facebook page, man.
Or my
Please do.
WhatsApp, I don't know.
Or you, if you're lucky enough to have his number. I don't think I have your number, man. No, and what? Yeah, exactly. Listen, stick around for a great show this morning. It's going to be pumped. It's full of energy. Princess, good morning, love. How are you doing?
Princess always on standby with the cappuccinos.
Always
and
there.
cappuccino.
Please.
Ladies,
sort
what's
us
going
out.
on in the beauty room?
Ha! This is your birthday song. It isn't very long. Hey! I don't know if you guys got that, but it was a very short birthday song from us. Happy birthday, Tabiso.
Birthday
We're
Tabsy.
gonna have some fun, and I told him I'm pretty sure Princess has his favorite cake set out for him.
We can't wait. Good morning and welcome to our W Beauty Room, the place where all the magic happens. I know you think we woke up like this. We did. Nick, unfortunately, needed a lot of work, a lot of panel beating, but it's all good. That's why we're here. I'm Leanne Williams, Zoe Brown, and of course, the incredible Nicholas Sterling.
You're so kind to me today, and I love it.
I'm always kind
We're on
to you.
there's a new rapport happening here.
Yeah, some love.
We're in a new
being
place in our
shared.
relationship.
Yes.
And I'm here for it.
I'm available for that
I'm
as
here
well.
for these looks today as well.
Thank you.
Okay.
Should we
Talk
give
about
a little
it.
bit of a
Nice.
twirl, but let's
Yeah.
fix myself.
I know let a girl get together. Let a girl get together.
It's very early.
It's very early.
But how amazing, early sort of pajama wear, but
Yes,
the
let me
chic
give you
pajama
some
wear.
space.
We
Yes.
talk a lot about lingerie wear or sleep wear for ready to
nice.
wear. And this is the epitome of it. Because you feel comfortable, right?
I do feel comfortable.
You still feel glamorous.
I just wish I had fluffy slippers, like those cute, comfy flats with
Yeah.
fur.
Yeah.
But this is a trend. This is a trend. This is
You
like
know,
sleepwear that can be day wear as well. But it's not
100%.
actual sleepwear. It just looks
No,
like
it's
sleepwear.
It's not, but could you actually wear this to bed as like a gown, so? What do you
I want
think?
to go into bed with a gown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had a special someone in your life.
I would love to pair this with also some denims, you know.
Totally, high-waisted denims, a white tank, this is good to go. It looks like the sleepwear to ready to wear isn't actually a trend anymore. It's sort of morphing into something that we're seeing on the daily. It doesn't need to be going.
Yeah.
But I want to just pay quick tribute to the passing of probably the most prolific fashion designer in the world, Karl Lagerfeld, who passed away yesterday at the age of 85. I mean, this man helmed Chanel since 1983. Fendi for over 50 years. Chloe, probably the most recognizable fashion designer in the world. We all know Karl with that sleeked white silver ponytail, those blacked out glasses, and those fingerless gloves. I mean, it really is a huge loss for everyone who appreciates art and fashion and creativity and creative output. It's a big loss. I feel I'm actually quite emotional. Can I just read one of his? He's very known for his quips, his very fast quips. So I'm gonna read like one quote every few minutes, but this is one of his best. So he said on intellectuals, quote, "I hate intellectual conversation with intellectuals because I only care about my opinion." That's what I love. On staying healthy in 2006, he said, quote, "Vanity is the healthiest thing in life." Okay, my best, I have to go. Quote, I've said this before, sweatpants are a sign of defeat. You lost control of your life, so you bought some sweatpants.
Wow.
That is everything.
Lost control of your life. Karl was spicy.
But I like
was
that. I only
spicy.
care about
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah, he
doesn't
was
like
spicy. He was the king of shade as well.
King of shade, but people like Victoria Beckham have come out with amazing condolences. Anna Wintour all recognize his unbelievable humility and how actually down to earth he was. I mean, it's tongue in cheek. He didn't want to be politically correct. We are too politically correct these days.
Yeah.
Show the people what you feel. I mean, don't hurt anyone.
Yeah.
Don't go to jail for it. But do you
I
want
love how you say when he says the only opinion I care about was my own, but you said he's humble.
Girl, have you heard of self-deprecation? It's a thing. Look it up.
I don't think he was self-deprecating, but I love him, and of course, may he rest in peace.
Yeah.
Karl Lagerfeld did amazing things in his career and continues to just inspire people, and will do so for generations to come.
Absolutely, yeah.
Certainly. Well, listen, if you've just woken up and tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast show, we'll help you out with what to choose to wear in terms of the weather. So if you're in Johannesburg today, partly sunny conditions can be expected. Cloud cover will decrease towards the evening, so there will be a beautiful evening. Humidity will remain due to the wind, but temperatures will peak at 3 p.m. today. Now moving over to Durban, a sunny day ahead with you, pleasantly warm conditions. Of course, there is also a northeasterly breeze that dies down towards the evening. And if you're in Port Elizabeth, partly sunny conditions with a breeze in the afternoon. Clouds will thicken towards the evening with a shower in a couple of places, so do be prepared for some scattered showers. And if you're in Cape Town today, also partly sunny conditions, a southeasterly breeze, we can expect that, and winds will get stronger towards the evening. Humidity will also remain due to the low wind. So that's what you can expect in your temperatures more or less in all of the major cities. But of course, a little bit later, we'll give you a full rundown of all of those temperatures.
Absolutely. Well, let's turn this show completely on its head, from beauty to entertainment. Who is performing on the show today?
Well, I think it's a mix of beauty and entertainment, because standing right next to me, if you take a very close look, you'll recognize her face from season 12 of SA Idols. It is one of my favorite acts, Valentine Mate.
Yes.
She's in the building this morning. Valentine, good morning.
Hi.
So good to have you here.
Likewise, thank you for having me.
I think if anyone is your ultimate #1 fan, that's got to be me. If I tell you I'm still paying off the loan for all the SMSs I sent out when voting for you on SA Idols, you won't believe.
Wow, is that why I won?
It's so good to have you here. You've been
you.
up to so much amazing stuff, upcoming
Yeah.
talent, upcoming artist, and you've definitely, graced many stages with your presence in South
Yeah.
Africa as well as abroad as well. What have you been up to?
Wow, it's been a lot.
Yeah.
I've been recording my EP,
Yeah.
just released my single on the 14th. I've been just performing everywhere. I'm booked, and yeah, it's fun. And I've
Yeah.
been studying as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Lots
much
on
fun.
the go.
Yeah.
You're going to be performing for us this morning. What are you
Yes.
singing? What can we expect?
I'm going to be singing all my singles.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with Falling For You,
Yes,
my new
brand new.
single.
Yeah.
Better Days, still to be released. Utando
Yeah.
with Team Mosha from Shuffle. So I'm quite excited.
Senior.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, well look, catch up with all the action right here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Valentine is going nowhere. She's my absolute favour. In fact, most of the time during the show, I might be standing behind her just going
Yeah.
Well, we're still, of course, talking about some international news. News that rocked the world yesterday when we found out that the legend that is Karl Lagerfeld passed away at the age of 85. And you were actually telling us a very interesting story, Nick.
How's that? Yes, I was.
About London.
Yeah, so when I went to London College of Fashion, I did my degree there, my master's there, and I was recruited once to be part of a celebration for Karl and his Olympic collection. So he was
Oh,
collaborating
wow.
for the 2012 Olympics in London.
remember that.
Do you remember?
Yes.
And I never met him, but I was tasked to drop off his favorite candles at his hotel for him.
wow.
So obviously being a young fashion student, it was quite nerve-wracking, the prospect of, I mean, I knew I
You
wouldn't
just
meet
had
the
to
man.
deliver the candle.
Yes, but I was like, still like, is he watching me somehow? Or like, am I gonna fall and trip as I make my way in and break the candles everywhere? So I had my little bag, bought the candles, went to his 5-star hotel in the middle of Mayfair, which is probably the most exclusive area of London.
Yeah.
Dropped it off. I mean, he wasn't there obviously, but I was like, how close did I mean, he's somewhere here. I mean,
Yeah.
is he in the bathroom? Call him. And then later on in the evening, when we went to the actual event, I was part of the entourage behind, sort of bodyguarded all the way up because we were all assisting him for the day. But I mean, I didn't get to speak to the man, but I was probably this close to him at one point. And I mean, just to be in that presence, when people are that creative and powerful in their space and in who they are, you really sort of feel it.
Yeah.
It emanates.
And which candles does he like?
It's a French brand called Diptyque.
Diptyque.
Diptyque, look it up, Google it. It's the bomb. It's actually amazing.
We were just asking you that to make sure the story was legit that you were telling us.
Me making it up on the spot.
I
I
get
have
it.
done that in the past.
I
so she
know.
knows.
And of course, tributes have come in from all over the world, including other fashion powerhouses, Donatella Versace, and then British socialite Victoria Beckham that you just met as well.
Yeah.
So
he revolutionized when he came into Chanel in 1983. It was nothing. It was only known for perfumes, really. I mean, this is the man who elevated Chanel to probably the most recognizable.
Yeah.
and respected fashion house in the world. He said, quote, when he was asked to uplift Chanel in '83, he said, Chanel was a sleeping beauty, not even a beautiful one. She snored. So I was to revive a dead woman, and revive the dead woman he did. This is one of my favorite quotes, so we have to say this, and I'm sorry to all the short men out there. I mean, I'm average height, I'm not short, but I'm not gonna take this personally. He said on short men, quote, I have a terrible loathing of ugly short men. Women can be short, but for men, it is impossible. It is impossible. It is something that they will never forgive in life. They are mean and they want to kill you. That is a direct quote.
Wow, Carl was the business.
I was a bit cray, but eccentricity is often the sign of a true talent.
Yeah.
I mean, you call me eccentric all the time, so it's great. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. And that's why I'm black and white. We're obviously paying homage to Chanel with our black and white.
Fantastic. Yeah. Cool. Should we get into some quote of the day?
Yes, so you're gonna head on off
I'm
to
going to
the
head on
news.
off to the news, and I will see you guys in a little bit.
Yes. Okay, well, our quote of today, are you staying for this, Nick
I'll
Strellis?
stay for this.
Well, Emma Stone, one of my favorite actresses, and I mean, she's a natural beauty, and the quote from today is from her, and she says here, I can't think of any better representation of beauty than someone who is unafraid to be herself.
Yeah.
How beautiful.
It is, and it encapsulates her to a T. You know,
It does.
she's so down to earth and accessible, and the beauty you see emanating from her as well. It's not about this necessarily.
No, it's not. I'll give it to you one more time in case you missed it. I can't think of any better representation of beauty than someone who is unafraid to be herself. So go on out there today, be yourself, and of course, just embrace it. Be unapologetically you. But I think on that note, it's time for us to kick off the show. So let's get the show going.
Step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Welcome to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We're kicking it off with your news headlines this morning. In your national news, Finance Minister Tito Mboweni will deliver his anticipated budget speech 2019 today, and South Africans and key foreign stakeholders will be paying close attention to how Treasury and the government plan on addressing key areas of concern. International Relations and Cooperation Minister Lindiwe Sisulu has assured the diplomatic corps that South Africa is prepared and ready to go to the polls in May. 229 political parties will be contesting the election on the 8th of May. On the international front, a Tanzanian court sentenced a prominent Chinese businessman dubbed the Ivory Queen to 15 years in prison yesterday for smuggling the tusks of more than 350 elephants to Asia, a big victory in the battle to stamp out poaching in Africa. US Senator Bernie Sanders says that he will run again for president in 2020, making a second attempt to win the Democratic Party's nomination. The 77-year-old Vermont senator is an ardent critic of President Donald Trump and has described him as a pathological liar and a racist. And finally, South African chef Cobus van der Merwe has done it. His restaurant Wolfgat in the quaint fishing village of Paternoster on the Cape West Coast has been named the overall global winner at the inaugural awards ceremony of the World Restaurant Awards held in the city where restaurants first started, which is Paris. An elated Cobus said afterwards he doesn't feel worthy and that he can't wait to celebrate the huge title with his staff. He says the staff, most of them women, have no formal training and there's no kitchen hierarchy. All do everything. Wolfgat, situated in a 130-year-old fisherman's cottage, utilizes locally foraged ingredients in a Cape Malay-inspired tasting menu. Well done, Cobus. Right now, South Africa cannot be prouder. Well, that was your 6 o'clock news headlines. Let's get a taste of what's happening in the world of sport. Here's Ewan.
Thanks so much, Leanne. Let's run you through your sports stories for your Wednesday morning. And now, firstly, both first leg games in a round of 16. The Champions League last night were played out at knockout tempo, but ended goalless. And out of form, Bayern kept Anfield quiet, proving their champions' pedigree, shutting down the Reds in the midfield, while Lyon continued to prove their European credentials, keeping Barcelona's star-studded front three at bay. And tonight, the Premier League champions Man City go into their last 16 tie against Schalke in Germany, heavily favoured to keep moving towards their first Champions League title and fabled quadruple. In the other game, Cristiano Ronaldo will be confident returning to his old Madrid rivals as Juventus take on Atletico Madrid. The 34-year-old has scored 19 times in 24 Serie A matches. And Mamelodi Sundowns failed to leapfrog Bidvest Wits in the PSL last night, drawing 1-1 against Polokwane City. The home side scored early through Themba Zwane, but suffered a setback with a Dennis Onyango own goal. Pitso Musimane's side, who remain 2 points off the summit, will take on the Students on Saturday, while the league continues tonight as SuperSport United face Orlando Pirates. And finally, in the domestic one-day cup, a century from Carl Verheyen led the Cape Cobras to a 3-wicket victory over the Knights, despite the best efforts of Merchant de Lange ending on 3 for 45. Verheyen scored 114 not out of 119 balls to see the Cape side surpass the target of 282 with 3 balls to spare. The Cobras now take on the table-topping Dolphins on Friday. And that's where we leave your sport for now. We'll expand on those stories at the top of the hour.
Thank you, Ewan. Well, let's get your morning underway by taking a look at your temperatures. And we have a beautiful sunrise photo we'd love to share with you. So thank you to Ben Keeve, who sent us this gorgeous skyline from East London, where today you can expect partly sunny conditions with an afternoon breeze and a maximum of 29 degrees Celsius. We start off in Polokwane. Your low for today is 16, your high 30. Mbombela 18 with a high of 32. Pretoria 17, 29. Johannesburg 15, 28. It's sunny in Mahikeng today with a high of 32. Klerksdorp 17, reaching a high of 32. Kimberley, brace yourself, 16 is your minimum, 37 your maximum. Bloemfontein 14 with a high of 33. Richards Bay 22 with a high of 33, Pietermaritzburg 16, 36, Durban 23 reaching a high of 30, Mthatha 16 with a high of 36, East London 19, 29, Cradock 14, 35, Port Elizabeth 18 with a high of 25. George is expecting some wet conditions today with a high of 24. Sutherland 12 reaching a high of 27, Cape Town 18, 25, Worcester 15 with a high of 32, Springbok 16, 32, and sunny conditions in Uppington with a low of 21 and a high of 38 degrees Celsius. Well, we'll have another update for you shortly, but if you have a beautiful sunrise photo that you'd love to share with us, feel free to do so on the Expresso Facebook page.
Man, and did you see the shot of that beautiful full moon? Absolutely stunning. What a way to start your morning. Listen, we're going to take a very quick break. It's a Wednesday morning on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. When we come back, the beautiful Ayanda Tabete hands out school shoes as part of the Clover Goodness Crush campaign. And I don't know what's going on here. Tabiso, what's happening, bro?
Well, we're also sharing some parenting advice today. We're taking a look at tools to help you calm anxiety.
Okay.
It's very important.
What he said.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Well, welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It is Expresso, and time for us to connect with you on social media. Now, if you joined us this morning in the beauty room, you would have known that we've started paying tribute to Karl Lagerfeld, fashion icon of the world, and of course, Chanel designer. We asked you this morning, who is your South African fashion icon? And looking at the responses coming through, Lisa Williams says, my favorite people, well, good morning. My favorite icon is David. Now, I'm assuming she's saying David Hlale. Lorraine echoing those same things, saying, morning family, my fashion icon is David Hlale. Taking a look at the rest, we have here, someone says, Jackie. She says, good morning fam, my fashion icon is Gert. And I'm assuming she's saying Gert Johan Coetzee. But of course, we would love to hear from you. So why don't you head on over to social media, connect with us and let us know who is your favorite South African icon.
Right, time for some parenting on your Feel Good Breakfast Show this morning. Now, we've spoken about anxiety on the show before, but it's an issue that remains so prevalent in our society, with many kids and adults struggling on different degrees of anxiety, which oftentimes can be highly concerning for those left unchecked. Now, this morning, family therapist and social worker Talia Ressel joins us this morning in studio to share some very important tools to help you deal with your anxiety. Talia, thank you very, very much.
Sure.
And your little parenting tool kit that you brought with us this morning.
Yeah, thanks for
Playbox.
Playbox. All right, so let's just begin by reminding ourselves about the prevalence of anxiety in our society, in our culture, especially for kids and adults.
Yeah, look, I think anxiety is growing to be one of the leading, if not the leading, mental health concern among all ages, and we're seeing it pick up among young people especially. I mean, I just heard the most recent statistic I heard was around 30% of adolescents are experiencing anxiety.
30%?
30%.
That's a huge number.
Whereas diabetes is like 7%.
Wow.
I mean, we really are dealing with an epidemic here.
What exactly happens to the body when anxiety hits?
So if we're going to think about for the body, it's like an alarm goes off. If you think your alarm at home, you get the signal, uh-oh, panic, danger, and your body floods with adrenaline. And you're getting ready to fight or flight. But what's happening in our society is that these dangers are not actual real, it's not a bear in front of us, it's not like a fire that we've got to run. So our bodies are flooded with the same intensity, but then we don't have that output for the energy, and it's like a flooding. It's like you're drowning and you just can't catch your breath.
Wow.
So then let's talk about some of the tools that we can use to help us deal with that anxiety.
Yes. So, okay, so...
Let's delve into that little toolbox of yours.
Before we get to some of these tools, what I do want to just tell you some of my 5 top tips. So number 5 would be the first thing would be getting to know your anxiety. So actually, don't try and push it away. Get to know. I say to people, give it a name, give it a description, maybe a song comes up. So it's like, cool, okay, here he is, right. Okay, let me actually deal with this. Because ignoring it's not going to get it away. Okay, so totally almost like someone next to you on the couch. Number 4, I would say, would be we call it the grounding technique. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So when that panic hits and I'm flooding, 5 things I can see. So immediately I can see on the table, I can see the TV. 4 things that I can feel. I can feel my bum on the couch. I can feel this roughness, my shirt. Really thinking about that. 3 things that I can hear. So noticing what's in my surroundings. 2 things that I can smell. And you'd be surprised what you can pick up. And 1 thing I can taste. So that exercise makes me stay here and now, because anxiety takes you to the future or it takes you to the past.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so really, it's grounding. It's I'm here, mindfulness.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay?
I like that.
So that's an easy one to do and to teach. Then number 3 would be a body scan. And a body scan, there's so many on YouTube and so forth, but in essence, we're getting comfortable. So maybe you guys want to get comfortable. I'll do it.
I like getting comfortable.
Okay, let's see, I'm comfortable.
Close your eyes for 1 second, okay? Start breathing. And you're going to start either your head or your toes. You can choose your direction. But you're going to think about a body part. So let's do your forehead. And you're going to tense it up as tight as you can. Tense, tense, tense. And take a deep breath. And release. And you relax the forehead. And now you're going to move to the eyes. And you're going to squeeze your eyes tight. And squeeze and take a deep breath. And release. And basically, I'm going to let you open your eyes now because we don't have so much time. But as you move through the body, especially like the neck, the shoulders where we have tension, it gets you back into this moment again, mindfulness and seeing, because tension is all, anxiety is so mind-body connected.
Okay.
Okay, so we would scan through your body.
Like
Can be in minutes. You do it with kids as well, like tense, and relax. And you know, it's really helpful.
And it takes their mind off.
Just off that moment,
Because exactly like you're saying, like, take the mind off, because anxiety, your brain likes to run, and then it snowballs, and then this and that, and what about this, and then that's going to happen. And what we want is a place for your mind to sort of hook onto, so that that's where it can focus. So if it's focusing on a body scan, the other noise starts to quieten a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. This is important if you think about, you know, taking kids to school and they have that anxiety, and just do something very quickly with them beforehand.
Exactly.
It will definitely help them. Okay.
And they don't put the link between body and mind. Usually it's a sore tummy. Okay, now into my box of little tools. So I want you guys, let's take out the main one.
This is fun.
I like this, man.
Okay, so you're going to see there's different fidget things. Really, I mean, it can be, I happen to have a few, like, I mean, it can be simple as bubble wrap and fidget toys. But why I like that, guys, is because, put your hand in, it's nice, that goo.
Oh, can I?
Yes, it's just sticky patty.
Oh, I didn't read this crazy.
This I find very interesting, because I'm scared if I let my hand. Okay, that's done.
No, don't
done.
worry.
I don't know how to get it back now.
Don't worry. Basically,
this is calling me anxiety.
I'll put it back.
Oh, okay, we'll put it back.
Yes.
Fantastic.
But yeah, pass it to me so that you can focus on something.
Okay, wait, got it.
There you got it. There you go.
Oh, wow, what an
You see, aren't you calmer now?
What an yes, that's good. That's good.
But guys, remember we said that fight or flight and all that energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah? Now, this gives us something to do with that energy just with your hands. Rather than, have you seen everybody biting their nails, picking skin, pulling hair, tapping? Do either of you do toe tapping or the leg sort of wiggle? It's all that nervous energy.
Yeah.
So here we're just giving it a different, remember clicking a pen?
Yeah.
Yes, that's also...
That's just that energy coming out of there. Okay.
Just finding yourself. A Rubik's Cube, perhaps. Try this.
A Rubik's Cube, absolutely.
What do you do with this?
Just open it, you'll freak out first.
It's just to fiddle with.
Oh, get it back. Get it back.
There you go, magic. But I mean, bubble wrap. But wait, my most important one, because I don't know how we're doing for time.
We have run, okay, we've got like 30 seconds.
Yeah, one more time.
Most important one, because it's about the breathing. Okay, with anxiety, we hold our breath, we squeeze in, we get totally tense. Something fun that I like to do with kids, but adults can do it too, the breathing. You're going to take a deep breath in, and while you're breathing in, get your bubbles ready, and then long breath out. Can I ask you to give it a try? Okay? Open.
I'm still struggling with this bad boy.
This is important
wait.
for anxiety. And breathe out as long as you can. No, come.
Tiny bubble.
There you go. But now, look at that long breath. That's really good.
Okay, these are very, very good techniques to help.
But it's getting you to the breathing.
Yeah, thank you. I like the colour as well.
I stole from my daughter.
Of course you did. Thank you very much. That's cool, the achievement afterwards. Listen, there we go. Some easy ways to just be mindful, to be in the moment and address the anxiety that Katlego is currently experiencing.
No, I'm trying to show you something.
But I have put them all in my blog. So if you go to my website, you will see the blog with all those tips in more detail.
Excellent. Thank you, Kaya. Thank you very much. Look, before we go, look.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Very cool.
Well, thank you so much, guys. What I love is that 2019 has started out in the most incredible way since the beginning of the year. Thousands of young children across the country have been heading to school with a smile on their face and a spring in their step.
Absolutely, and continuing in their mission to put a spring on a lot of children's steps, donating 20,000 school shoes to those who need them the most is Clover, Crush and the Goodness team. They've teamed up with top billing presenter Ayanda Tabeta this time around, and they've gone out and donated these beautiful school shoes to these amazing children. Have a look.
Crush, your daily dose of goodness. Now also available in long life.
Made with love by Clover.
I decided to be part of the Clover Crush Goodness campaign this year because I wanted to see children smile. I wanted to see them receive a priceless gift that's going to afford them the gift of comfortability when going to school and being in school, making sure that education is a priority and they can feel socially acceptable amongst their peers, and just to see the smiles and joy in their faces was really important for me to be part of this campaign.
Ayanda Tibet was a perfect fit for this campaign because she's from this province, she's from KZN, she understands and could relate to the kids and they could relate back to her, and I feel like she's a great inspiration for them within the community.
I have never been mobbed like this. I nearly fell, but it was the most beautiful experience of love I have received. And I mean, that doesn't happen every day. The kids are just so full of love, they're full of laughter, and it was just beautiful to just have them all around me and just to soak up all that goodness.
When I was finding these shoes, I was feeling so excited because my shoes were too old, you see now. I would like to say to Clover that they must continue doing these good things to us.
What I feel about my new shoes is that I'm so happy, and my mother wouldn't afford these shoes, but Clover decided to give me these shoes. Thank you so much.
I'd like to say to Clover, who brought me new school shoes, that I really appreciate what they did for me because my shoes were getting older and now they gave me new shoes.
You know, I know that some things are not said and the children may not say in words how much they appreciate this gesture, but I think that in their hearts, in their minds, when they go home, they can truly appreciate it. And for me, it's just in the eyes of the child that I see, from having a really bad pair of school shoes to getting a brand new one, just that sigh of relief, that thankfulness within them that they can't really express in words, and that was really special.
I think Clover decided to bring back this campaign because it does so much goodness within the community, within the country, within each province. So bringing something like that back is what we need as people, you know, people of South Africa. So I think it's an amazing campaign, something that uplifts the community, brings us together once again as people.
Oh, it feels wonderful to have Clover Crush here. It's making such a difference in the area, and yeah, it's just awesome to have them here. Oh, I spread a lot of goodness and a lot of kindness. This is my passion.
I think it's important for us South Africans to share good stories because we are inundated with such bad news every day. But these moments just show you that there's so much goodness to share in South Africa. There's so much light, there's so much hope. Just seeing all these children who will someday lead our country is just an indication of hope that our country has.
How beautiful. All of this just so heartwarming, and it makes us feel so good right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. I mean, this came from nominations made by you, the public. A full list of 20 schools across South Africa have received these school shoes, 20,000 to be exact. It's beautiful.
It's incredible. And we, your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, along with all these incredible celebrities and the Clover Crush campaign, will make sure that we continue to bring you all of the details as to how we inspire the rest of South Africa to bring some goodness into the lives of others as well.
Totally.
Crush, your daily dose of goodness. Now also available in long life.
Made with love by Clover.
Well, we are taking a quick break on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Why don't you go refill those coffee cups? When we get back, we connect with Nick Hammond. We find out what's happening on that international and local chart show. It's the 5FM Top 40.
Absolutely. And then talking about music, she's here, she's ready, she's been sound checking. Get your grooving shoes ready because she's performing after the break. Valentine Mate, she is here, and you cannot miss this performance. She is phenomenal after the break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Time for us to get into our weekly Wednesday game, which is our emoji charades game. And I love how close Tabiso is sitting to me because it's his birthday.
For the love,
and
yes.
if you're wondering what this is, it's just me leaving my territorial mark.
That was your territorial mark.
I've marked my territory.
And it's not just Leanne, it's just all the girls on the show. They cannot keep their hands and their lips off me. It's
wow,
just
I thought
something
I was special.
I can't
now
believe
I'm
it.
just one of
Can't
many.
believe it.
You shouldn't believe it.
Okay, so we've got some clues for you to get your brain working and charged up on this beautiful hump day. This artist is also an actor, a comedian, writer, producer, and director.
Yeah, so the song was released in 2018, and the music video has over 488 million views on YouTube.
And this very artist in question this morning just won 4 Grammy Awards. They're award-winning, Grammy Award-winning artists.
That's amazing.
4 of them.
So if those clues aren't helping you, well, maybe these emojis will. By now, you know that it's a song.
Oh,
3 words in the title. There's a hand and there's an American flag. What could it be?
When it dropped.
What could
when the penny drops, you're like, oh, there it is.
Clink.
Yeah.
You can head to our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show SABC3. You can give us your answer. You can also give us the artist and use that official hashtag Expresso Show, and we'll see if you're right a little bit later on in the show.
Can hear the seagulls are going crazy on your Feel Good Breakfast Show because it's now time for us to connect with Nick Hammond and find out what is happening with the 5FM Top 40 local and international chart show. Brand new music from Sunel, musician, and Moby Dixon. But can any of the South African performers hold on to a #1 spot or get to the top? Here's Nick Hammond to find out.
What's up, guys? It's Nick Hammond here, back to recap the 5FM Top 40 from this past weekend. And like we always do, let's jump straight in, waste no time, and take a look at the brand new entries on the charts. I really think you're going to like this one. The first pick that I have for you at number 34, it's Billie Eilish with Bury a Friend.
Why aren't you scared of me? Why do you care for me?
My second new entry pick this week came in at number 21. It's from a dude who's been facing a lot of legal battles at the moment. His name is 21 Savage. The track is called A Lot.
Penitential chances just to make a couple bucks. My heart's so cold, I could put it in my cup.
Time to check out my move and shaker picks for the week. This one coming in at number 31 after just 2 weeks on the charts. It's Local Fire on 5FM from Something Soweto and Moby Dixon called Abantu. My second move and shaker pick has been one that I've really dug checking out over the past couple of weeks in the 5FM Top 40. It's now sitting at number 17. We have put the spotlight on this one before, but I think it's worthwhile doing it again because it's shooting up the charts in the right direction. It's Cinnamon, Apple Gule, and Rockstead with a track called Perfect.
She's perfect, perfect in every way.
All right, guys, time to get into the top 10 biggest songs on 5FM from this past weekend. Beginning at number 10 at the back end of the 5FM's top 10 playlist, it's Post Malone with Wow.
When I show up, God, I'm saying wow. 100 bands in my pocket, it's on me. Yeah, your grandma probably know me.
Then coming in at number 9 this week off his latest album, talking about the artist Teleman teaming up with Nasty C and Shekinah, and the track called Dirt. Ellie Goulding, Diplo, and Sway Lee have teamed up together to make this week's number 8 on the 5FM Top 40. It's a track called Close to Me. This week's number 7 is the previous week's number 2 and a former number 1. It's Halsey with Without Me. Then at number 6 on the 5FM Top 40, you got Chris Brown's latest single on the charts, Undecided. Halfway through the back end of the charts at number 5, it's Post Malone's second appearance with Sway Lee's second appearance, teaming up with Ray Shrimmed and a track called Sunflower.
Then you're left in the dust, unless I stuck by you.
At number 4, you've got Sam Smith and Normani. They met outside a recording studio, found out they were both fans, and decided to make this song, which has been soaring its way up the charts, called Dancing with a Stranger.
Dancing with a stranger. Look what you made me do.
Number 3 this week is the previous week's number 1. It's Ava Max, Sweet But Psycho.
Oh, she's sweet but a psycho, a little bit psycho. At night she's screaming, I'm
It's way up the 5FM Top 40, possibly going to be number 1 next week. We're definitely going to have to keep an eye on J. Cole's Middle Child at number 2.
Been through some bad shit, I should be a savage. Who would've thought?
As always, you guys, thank you so much for listening. Make sure to keep listening to me on the radio. Nick Hammond, Monday to Fridays. Of course, every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. As together we find out which track is going to get that number 1 spot on the 5FM Top 40. There can only be one. Ariana Grande with 7 Rings.
It's poppin'. You like my hair? She thinks. Just bought it. I see it. I like it. I want it. I got it. Yeah. I want it. I got it. 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 Yeah. You like my hair?
Some of the biggest track. Thank you, Mr. Nick Hammond. Well, I'm still chilling out here with our guest star this morning, Valentine Mate. She is ready. She is gearing up for that performance. We're going to get to know her a little bit better in just a little bit. Stick around for that after the break. Also, how you can contribute to South Africa's national budget speech. I know we all want to have our say. How can you do that? Well, we'll give you the details coming up after the break. Stick around.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
You're back with your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and when you hear that tune, you know that we're celebrating birthdays today because thousands of people celebrate their birthdays all around the world. But we decided to just take a moment to honor some really, really special people. Now, other than our awesome Tabiso, who's celebrating his birthday today.
At least I can have the cake today without being judged.
Exactly. The man who I'm secretly in love with now that he's single again, Trevor Noah is celebrating his birthday today.
You share a birthday with Trevor Noah?
With Trevor. Of course, Trevor's doing amazing things.
Send me money, Trevor!
And he turns 34 today, as well as the blonde bombshell from the Bahamas. Not blonde, well, she was blonde. She's blonde there. Is Rihanna, who is the big 3-0. Only the big 3-0.
Only the big 3-0.
Only the big 3-0. She's done
so much.
I know, I know. So happy birthday to the one that brought us Ponda Replay.
Yeah, Pisces season is definitely heating up. We've also got a birthday shout out. We have Brian who's celebrating his 70th birthday today.
Hey, that's a big one. Happy birthday, Brian.
Yvonne wishes you a very happy birthday and says thank you for the amazing 45 years together.
Wow.
But Brian's not the only one. Abdu Dayan is celebrating his 15th birthday today as well. Abdu, you are deeply loved by your nanny and grandfather, as well as your mum, dad, and 2 brothers. May you have a blessed day.
Happy birthday, brother.
Happy birthday, Abdu. And then we have Kate Haley May, who's turning 12 years old today. And we have a very special message from Mom, Dad, Bronwyn and Damien, who wants to wish you a very happy and special birthday filled with love and laughter. We also have another birthday wish. This one is a very special message for Amanda, and it's from Theo, wishing her a happy 20th birthday, and it reads, I want to say that you are the friend that is always there no matter the reason or the season. Happy birthday, and know that you are loved.
Ah, sweet,
That's
man.
beautiful.
Right, on to some more of our celeb viewers with birthdays. Culinary. Now, this little guy is celebrating 4 years today on this planet, and he's wished a very happy birthday by his mom, Prudence. Happy birthday, Culinary, man.
So
That's
adorable.
so awesome.
Adorable.
Look at those eyes.
I love it, man. He looks like a little cheeky one.
Yeah.
Giving mom the runaround, that's for sure. We also have Polis, who would like to wish his daughter Tandowetu a very happy 15th birthday, and he says, I thank the Lord for keeping her alive to see another year. Thank you for all the memories, and may your year ahead be filled with bliss and happiness. Tandowetu, happy birthday,
Also,
love.
Shaylin is celebrating her 12th birthday today, looking absolutely gorgeous in leopard print. Happy birthday from Snyder and the Gillian families as well. And then Mom McGrath, this one goes out to you. All the children and grandchildren would like to wish their mom a happy 93rd birthday. Wow. Mom McGrath. And of course, they say you are a pillar to the community, and we are blessed to have you in our lives.
Stunning. Also, happiest birthday to Nana Yvonne Riley. A lady never reveals her age, but 78 never looked so good. This is with love from your children to Yvonne Riley. Happy birthday.
78 looking great. And then lastly but not least, we have two sisters. In fact, they are twins. It's Chanel and Sherelle. They are celebrating their birthday today. Happy birthday, ladies. Now, your sister Charlotte would like to have and wish you guys the best birthday ever.
Looks like the same
Charlotte
person.
is spelled with the SH. That's the theme in the family. It's really cool.
Nice. Very,
look
very
like the
cool.
same person.
That was a
birthday to
marathon of
everyone.
birthdays, guys.
Yeah.
Happy
We
birthday
love
to
it.
all of you once again. You get some cake.
That's your cake,
Get in there, Tabiso. Get in
Listen,
there.
that's it for today. Like I said, so many birthdays, but if we didn't mention you and it is your birthday, happy birthday. But if you would like us to shout out your birthday on your Feel Good Breakfast show, you can just send us those birthday wishes to birthdays@condova.tv.
So good.
Well, it is a great time of the morning, one of my favorite times of the morning when we get to know our guest artist and so Africa Boramzanti. Let's welcome Valentine Martin into the studio. Yes, neighbors, celebrate and rejoice. She's finally here. Great to have you here, my sister.
Thank you for having me.
What a beautiful name, Karen.
Yeah, I know. I was born on the 14th of February. Thank you so much, Princess.
Thank you, Princess. Love baby.
Yes.
Love baby.
Yeah,
Listen,
one of my loves.
Tell us about your talent, which I believe was discovered in church.
It was.
Yeah?
I joined the church choir, and one Pastor Mabena just immediately just recognized the talent, and he told me that you have something special.
Yeah.
But obviously at the time when you're a kid, you know, you don't understand that. But he saw that. Yeah. So I just kind of like ran with it.
Is it a Pretoria thing? Like, hey, what's in the water there, hey?
I guess so. I don't know.
Super talented people from that part of the country. So you ended in the top 10 of one of South Africa's favorite singing competitions. A lot of people followed you, your journey.
Yeah.
Do you think that has had an effect or an impact on the artist that you are today, if you take a look at your journey?
You know what, definitely 100%.
Yeah.
You know, it has played a big role in my career. I think it gives you that foundation.
Yes.
You know, what you need to know as an artist, stage, microphone, technique, like everything, you know, wardrobe.
Performance,
you know, voice control. Yeah. It just teaches you a lot of things about the industry.
And you were telling me that you had to make a decision to drop out of your studies when you were in this competition. How difficult a decision was that?
It was very difficult because also I have to go back to my mom and let her know that I'm dropping school because of singing, you know, so, and she was not really in the singing thing anymore because I'll always cry from auditions, it didn't work out. So she was like, you know what, just go to school and leave the singing thing. But once she saw me on the stage, you know, she just, yeah.
That's always the case, right? Like when your parents actually see you doing your thing, like, because it's different when you're doing it at home.
Yes.
For Boko and Bo Auntie. And now you're on stage performing for your life, essentially.
Yeah.
That's a massive difference. You're currently recording your EP. When can we expect it? You said you're 2 songs deep now.
Yeah, I'm 2 songs deep. I don't know, maybe towards the end of the year. I don't want to give out a date. I don't want to give myself that pressure.
All right, understood.
But I'll definitely be dropping another single in March, end of March.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Very exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm looking forward to hearing you sing live on our Feel the Breakfast Show. This morning, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to tell you how you can have your say and contribute somewhat, to a certain degree, to the national budget speech, which we are all looking forward to. And then, of course, what you have to look forward to is a live performance from our guest artist, Valentine Martin. Just repeat something, man.
Okay, all I can say is, can we just be young forever, forever?
Yes, we can. Yes.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We're live, large and in charge on this Wednesday morning. Now, in its 47th year, the Nedbank and Old Mutual Budget Speech Competition is underway again, aiming to uplift and empower the brightest young financial minds of our country. So today, we have Old Mutual Limited CEO Peter Moyo and competition finalist Caleb Oyo in the studio to shed some light and insight into this incredible competition. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Excellent. Let's start first by talking about this competition. It sounds like a very, very exciting one. Peter, give us a bit of background and a bit more detail about it.
Well, this is the 47th year that we are running the competition together with Nedbank. We try and encourage some of the best minds on the economic field in South Africa to be part of the budget speech. So we've been running this competition. And one of the other highlights of it is that the students get to interact in the evening with the Minister of Finance. It's actually, we think it's the only one of its kind in the world where the students get to talk and ask the questions directly to the Minister of Finance straight after the budget. In fact, it's actually interesting. One of the budget speech competition topics this year, I think, might actually have been prompted by a question that was asked by one of the students last year to the minister, and it was dealing with the cryptocurrencies and whether government has actually, or regulators have actually thought about how they regulate that.
Wow. I mean, what an opportunity to be sitting at that table, to have a say and to engage in such important matters. Back to you again, Peter. The continual sponsorship of this competition, why has it been so important to Nedbank and Old Mutual to partner and make this competition happen for its 47th year?
Well, it's actually not just about the competition, because we actually encourage ongoing learning for some of these students, because I mean, what they get, we really hope that it actually gets it encourages them to continuously learn, and so it's actually important for us to ensure that people continue to learn, they contribute to the economy, and that's actually, in a small way, we're actually playing our part in ensuring that we develop South Africa.
Absolutely. Caleb, you're a student at UCT, I understand.
Yes.
Studying?
Studying BCom Economics and Finance.
Wow. What made you enter this competition?
I like the topic. Actually, Mr. Moyo was talking about the topic we, the undergrads, got to do. So the topic was examine the systemic risks posed by cryptocurrencies. So I read the topic and I was like, this is very interesting. Let me see what I can write, and made it this far.
I feel like delving into your mind to ask you now already, I feel like we might just get a little snippet of what the budget speech might sound like. But Caleb is one of 20 finalists that have made it into the competition thus far. Tell us about the finalists, Mr. Moyo, and the caliber of intellect and knowledge that they bring into the table.
Well, firstly, this is actually open to all our tertiary institutions. We actually have an independent panel of people that actually adjudicate these, then they go through the different processes, and then we actually get to choose the finalists. To be frank, I don't even, and not to be frank, I do not even know who the winner is. I'll only know later today, when we actually announce the winners.
Yeah. So everyone is literally on tenterhooks right now, waiting for that big announcement.
Yes.
I'm sure.
In fact, I was signing the certificates. They were actually blank.
Wow. And like I said earlier on, Caleb, that this is quite a privileged position that you are in, to in some way say something that could be of counsel to the finance minister. So given what you know and with regard to his budget speech, what would your advice be to him?
Actually, I don't have any advice. I just have a comment. I'm like, we're looking forward as South Africa to seeing what he has to say about restoring fiscal credibility and investor confidence.
Yeah.
And that just means what they're going to do about the debt, national debt, and what they're going to do to make people invest in South Africa.
Yeah. What would you say to other young people out there in South Africa to get them interested and intrigued in being a part of the economic development of the country?
I would say, first, study economics. Economics isn't as intimidating as people think it is. It's a very interesting field, So much potential for good in addressing South African issues, like poverty and inequality. So study economics, take advantage of competitions like this one, where you get an opportunity to have a say about big issues, and
Fantastic stuff. Quickly on how people can enter this competition, Mr. Moyo.
Well, we are going to be putting up the rules of the competition as we close this year's one. We actually put up the rules, and they can actually go through. I think they go through the
website budgetspeechcompetition.co.za,
and it's live actually from this evening.
Wow. Yeah. What a fantastic opportunity you've presented. Congratulations to you, Caleb, for getting as far as you have in the competition. Hopefully your name is on that certificate of the winner by the end of the evening, and we look forward to hearing so many more of your contributions and the likes of the finalists, of course, to the future development of our country. Mr. Moyo, Mr. Koyo, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
In the national news, Finance Minister Tito Mboweni will deliver his anticipated budget speech 2019 today, and South Africans and key foreign stakeholders will be paying close attention to how Treasury and the government plan on addressing key areas of concern. It's anticipated that much of the talk will be centered around the unbundling and bailout plan of Eskom and the recently announced split of South African Airways into 3 separate entities. Mboweni is expected to begin his much-anticipated speech at 2 p.m. in Parliament. International Relations and Cooperations Minister Lindiwe Sisulu has assured the diplomatic corps that South Africa is prepared and ready to go to the polls in May. Sisulu hosted a media briefing at her department's headquarters yesterday following a quarterly engagement with members of the diplomatic corps in the country. Sisulu says the message was all systems go for the elections, with the Electoral Commission of South Africa also invited to speak to the diplomats. A total of 229 political parties are expected to contest the election on the 8th of May. Now moving further abroad, a Tanzanian court sentenced a prominent Chinese businesswoman dubbed the Ivory Queen to 15 years in prison yesterday for smuggling the tusks of more than 350 elephants to Asia, a big victory in the battle to stamp out poaching in Africa. 69-year-old Yang Fenglan had been charged along with 2 Tanzanian men for smuggling 860 pieces of ivory between 2000 and 2004 worth $5.6 million. She denied the charges. Yang, a Swahili speaker, had lived in Tanzania since the 1970s and was Secretary General of the Tanzania Chinese Africa Business Council. U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders says that he will run again for president in 2020, making a second attempt to win the Democratic Party's nomination. The 77-year-old Vermont senator became a progressive political star in 2016, although he lost his candidacy bid. His campaign says it raised $1 million within 3.5 hours of launching. An outspoken critic of President Donald Trump, Sanders, has described him as a pathological liar and a racist. Early polls suggest Sanders, an independent who caucuses with the Democrats, is far ahead. And then finally, pictures of a rare pink-bellied albino baby turtle that was born with its little heart beating outside its shell has captured the hearts of the internet. Although there is no name for the potentially life-threatening genetic defect in veterinary medicine, this condition is called ectopia cordis in humans. The baby turtle, named Hope, has been living with Mike Aquilina of New Jersey in the U.S. since November last year. Mike, who documents Hope's progress on Instagram, says Hope has managed to defy all odds and survives. He says although she's tiny and fragile, she is fearless. People are rooting for her around the world. She's spreading hope while also giving him hope, Mike says. May Hope continue to spread hope and grow stronger each and every day. Well, that was your 7 o'clock news update. Here's another look at what's happening in the world of sport with Kat.
Well, both legs of the round of 16 in the Champions League last night were played at a knockout tempo, both ending goalless at Anfield. While Liverpool showed the better attacking intent, Bayern proved their champions' credentials, shutting them down in the midfield. And of course, we'll be thinking that they hold the advantage going into the return leg at home. In France, Messi looked threatening, but Barcelona's star-studded front three were unable to break down a Lyon defense that is fast proving its European credentials. Now tonight, the Premier League champions Man City go into the last 16 tie against Schalke in Germany, heavily favoured, with Guardiola confident that they've learned from the past mistakes they've made chasing their first Champions League title, the fabled quadruple. Now, City, who scored 16 goals, top their group, sport one of Europe's informed strikers in Sergio Aguero. Another permanently on that list is, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo, who will be returning to his old Spanish rivals as Juventus take on Atletico. Now, since departing La Liga, the 34-year-old has scored 19 times in 24 Serie A matches. Wow, what a prospect for the opponents. Now, locally, Mamelodi Sundowns failed to leapfrog Bidvest Wits in the PSL last night, drawing 1-1 against Polokwane City. The home side scored early through Themba Zwane, but suffered a Dennis Onyango own goal just before half-time. Now, they created plenty of second-half chances on the frustrating night for Pito Basimane's side, who remained 2 points off the summit and now look forward to tackling the students themselves on Saturday, while the league continues tonight as SuperSport United face Orlando Pirates. And now whetting our appetite before the Proteas' next test in the domestic one-day cup, a stunning century from Kyle Verreynne led the Cape Cobras to a 3-wicket victory over the Knights. Now, after the Knights' superb team effort with the bat including 3 50s and ball with Merchant De Lange ending on 3 for 45, Verreynne came in with the Cobras on 15 for 3. But he scored 114 not out of 119 balls to see the Cape side surpass the target of 282 with 3 balls to spare. Now, both the Cobras and the Knights will be in action again on Friday as they face the table-topping Dolphins and second-placed Warriors, respectively. And that's a roundup of the major sporting headlines this morning.
Thank you, Kat. Let's take a look at your roads this morning. Starting off in Gauteng, in Alberton. On the N12 eastbound, there is a stationary vehicle before the Voortrekker Road. The emergency lane is currently blocked, so please do approach that area with caution. If you are in the Western Cape, in Belleville, there has been an accident on the N1 inbound after Durban Road. The right shoulder is currently obstructed and causing delays. Please keep a lookout for that. And off to the trains. The current available fleet on the Area Central line allows for one train every hour. The running times between Chris Hani and Lavistown to and from Cape Town range between 60 and 90 minutes. Your next report will be at 7:30. Right now, Zoe with the weather.
Don't fear the flu. Boost your immune system with Effaflu C Immune Booster by Pharmadynamics. Effective, affordable healthcare.
7 minutes past 7 o'clock. Let's quickly take a look at your temperatures. As we get into it, we've asked you to send in some of your beautiful pictures showing us what it looks like in your parts of the world. And of course, you can still do so by posting those pictures on our Expresso Morning Show SABC3 Facebook page. Now, Liema Matkabase sent us this beautiful sunrise picture from Uitenhage in the Eastern Cape. Liema, thank you very much. You can expect pleasantly warm temperatures with windy conditions reaching a maximum of around 25 degrees. Appreciate you taking the time for us to show that picture and send that picture as well. Have yourself a beautiful day, Liema. Your temperatures though for the rest of the country, starting with Polokwane this morning, starting off on 16 minimum and your maximum 30. Mbombela 18:32, Pretoria 17:29, Johannesburg 15 minimum and your maximum 28. Mahikeng 18:32, Klerksdorp 17:32. Kimberley on 16 and a very, very hot 37 maximum. Bloemfontein 14:33, Richards Bay 22:33, Pietermaritzburg 16:36, Durban 23 and a maximum 30, Mthatha 16:36, East London 19:29, Cradock 14:35, Port Elizabeth 18:25, George 16 minimum, your maximum 24, Sutherland 12 minimum and reaching a high of 27, Cape Town 18:25, Worcester 15:32, Springbok 16:32 as well. Uppington on 21 and a very, very hot maximum once again with a maximum 38 degrees later on today. That's a wrap for your weather on the 7 o'clock bulletin. We'll bring you another update in half an hour's time.
Thank you very much, sir. Right now, time for some music on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Valentine Mate is our guest artist. Here she is performing her brand new single released on her birthday called Falling For You.
Be wild and not have you right now. I gotta let you know. I gotta say this to you right now. I gotta let you know. Keep on falling, keep on falling. I keep on falling. Said I just wanna be yours for you. Oh, yeah, yeah. Keep on falling for you.
Yeah.
Valentine Maite is serving up the tunes on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Head on over to our social media pages and let us know what you thought of that lovely performance. Well, we're about to take a quick break. We have South African Blogger of the Year, Brent Lindeque, in studio with us. Not only, I asked him earlier, when was the last time you were on Expresso? He's like, exactly a year ago today, because he's won that award twice in a row. So, Brent, what can we get for you from Princess?
Maybe a little cappuccino, if I can.
Princess, please can we have a cappuccino for Brent over here? We're going to connect with him a little bit later now after the break. And then, of course, are you perhaps having some issues with your landlord? We will sort you out. We'll see you in just a bit.
Enjoy a moment in between with McCafe. See you after the break.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to it, your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, right here on SABC3. Hope you're getting that feel good in on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Thanks so much for choosing to wake up with us this morning. Now, it's time to step into the world of law with Aiton Stern, right,
Exactly.
on a Wednesday.
And if you are renting a property and you perhaps have a landlord that you are just not getting along with, well, then you might want to pay attention because this one is for you.
So it's time for another edition of our Wednesday feature where we focus on the unconventional side of the law, and we love it. We're calling it So Now What? And we're joined once again by our expert lawyer and director at legalese.co.za, Aiton Stern. Now, one of the Expresso team members recently had a run-in with their landlord over a leaking pipe. Now, the landlord has promised to fix it for months with no success, and now the walls are being damaged and there's consistently a puddle of water forming in the passage. The question is, so now what, Aiton? How are you doing, brother?
I'm good. So now what?
So now what? I think it's a tough one. I think, many people have gone through the motions of renting a place and dealing with landlords and agencies and just having a hairy situation in times. So now what? That's the big question. But the line between my responsibility and the landlord's responsibility, some people get that blurred. And that's what we want to find out exactly. So what is it? What's my responsibility? What's the landlord's responsibility in a situation maybe like this?
Okay, so with renting, it's always going to be a balance between these two things. You've got the tenant's right to be able to rent a property and live there and enjoy their home, and you've got a landlord's right to basically take care of this expensive asset that they've bought. So, everything when it comes to renting is going to fall as a balance between these two things. So a landlord is going to be responsible for making sure that the property is livable.
Yeah.
So you can't, for example, rent out a house which doesn't have a bathroom because that's not a livable property. They have to make sure that the property is upkept. So if a pipe breaks or the elevator breaks or something major happens, then it is the landlord's responsibility. And of course, the landlord has to ensure that the tenant has privacy in their property.
Yeah.
The tenant, on the other hand, has to play their side of the bargain. They have to pay their rent on time.
Yeah.
They have to make sure that the place is upkept as best as possible as well. So that's going to be the smaller stuff. The door handle breaking, the light bulbs that need changing, the stuff that really is wear and tear of living in the property. And they have to make sure that they abide by the rules within the lease.
Okay, and obviously look after like you said,
look after the property.
How important is a written lease when you go into that agreement? I mean, would you say that has to be firmly in place?
Okay, so it's really crucial. So pretty much, one of the main bits of advice that we give as lawyers is make sure it's in writing. So any scenario that you're in, make sure it's in writing.
Yeah.
And why? Because writing gives certainty. It's much better than a verbal agreement because we have something to reflect back on.
Yeah.
So it is really crucial, in my opinion, to make sure a lease is in writing because it's going to cover all the rules by which you're allowed to lease this place.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to Airbnb it? What's the termination period that you have to give if you want to leave? How much rent is being paid? If it's not in writing, it's really a guess.
Yeah.
And a lease doesn't have to be this long, complicated. It just has to cover the rules by which you rent the place. Now, us as lawyers, we get a pretty bad name. We get called sharks. But landlords are like killer whales. If if you really don't want to land up in a bad situation with your landlord. So it's just best to get everything in writing. It's only going to make the whole situation smooth.
Yeah. Sure, lots to consider, Aiton. We're going to be chatting more about this in just a minute. Don't go anywhere because we also want to talk about how do you protect yourself if you are going to be entering into one of those rental agreements. We want to make sure that you are sorted. We'll be back with So Now What in just a bit.
So now what? All those questions we get to ask, and of course, Aiton helps us out.
It's like
with that.
Aiton.
There we go. Well, we are taking the quickest of breaks. We have South African Blogger of the Year, Brent Lindeque, in studio, aka the Good News Guy, and of course, the Good Things Guy. And he's joining us in studio, and it's all about sharing the feel-good news that he has on his blog. And I think we need a lot more of that in South Africa.
And there are good things happening every single day. And then we go from the Blogger of the Year to probably the fine artist of the century, Gogo Dr. Esther Mahlangu, who brought her beautiful creations to the Cape Town Art Fair, which took place recently. We'll bring you highlights from there after this break.
Enjoy milk again with No-Lac lactose-free milk from Clover. Join us on Expresso for the 21-day No-Lac Challenge and feel the difference. Featuring dietitians with expert advice on the meaning of being lactose intolerant, the causes and symptoms, but best of all, the scrumptious recipes for cooking and baking with Clover No-Lac. The health-conscious, way better taste of Clover milk that lets you and your family enjoy milk again.
Enjoy dairy again with lactose-free No-Lac. Made with love by Clover.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Happy Wednesday, and thanks for tuning in and starting the fresh day with us. It's time that we continue now with our brand new legal segment, if you haven't heard about it yet. It's called So Now What, where we discuss all kind of manner of bizarre concepts of the law. And today we're talking about bad landlords. Let's hear what Eitan has to say.
So we are back with our expert lawyer, Eitan Stern, this morning from legalease.co.za, and it's time for So Now What? What do you do if you are renting and you have some issues? We're answering all of those questions. Eitan, thank you once again for joining us this morning. Lovely to have you. Something I didn't touch on in the previous segment this morning with regards to renting. Is it legal for your landlord to ask for 3 months bank statements? Can he do that?
Okay, he or she could do that, essentially. It's like, you know, a landlord's job is to make sure that whoever they're renting the property to is going to look after their property. And so you really want to have someone that you've vetted. So just like you're allowed to meet the person and see whether they are the type of person that you want in your property, the reason they check bank statements is to make sure that you earn enough in order to pay the rent. So they are allowed to ask for it. You, of course, as the tenant, are allowed to refuse. You're allowed to say, look, I don't want to give you the bank statements, but then you're probably not going to get the flat. So there are some situations in which credit providers are not allowed to ask for, to see your pay slips or what you earn. But lease agreements are specifically, or lease agreements for property are specifically excluded from the National Credit Act. So there really isn't a problem with a landlord asking to see bank statements.
Okay, but I mean, once again, it's important to note that you don't have to give it unless, but like you said, you might miss out.
You might miss out. Yeah. It's a choice.
So what are some of the things that you can put in place to really protect yourself before entering into a rental agreement?
Okay, cool. So, yeah, as I said earlier, the pre-inspection is crucial. Understanding the deposit, deposit that you're paying is crucial. The lease agreement is crucial. And, of course, a very crucial thing is to get educated about it, to understand what your rights are. There's the Rental Housing Act, which is a really good resource where you can understand what your obligations are. And there's also about knowing about the rental tribunal. If something goes wrong in a lease agreement and you want to, in a situation where you're really struggling, you know, there is the rental tribunal that you can go to, which can help to, it's like a court which only deals with rental issues, and you can always approach them.
I want to quickly touch on, you know, I think something that a lot of people might, you know, find a little bit like intense. I think that is when they decide to leave the flat one day. What's your responsibility when you leave the place? I mean, in terms of, you know, how you leave it, the things that you need to look after, because a lot of times you can leave and then the landlord becomes like, yeah, but this, yeah, but that, you didn't take this, you didn't do that. What is your responsibility?
Okay, so this is really where most of the issues around leaseors and leasees come up, is when it's about when they leave. So when you leave, the general rule is what you're supposed to do is return the property to the state in which you found it, which is why the pre-inspection check is so crucial. If there's a big hole in the roof, when you're leaving the property, you want to be able to say that that hole was there when you moved in. So it is your responsibility to return the place to as it was, you know, fix up the walls, paint the place if need be, and get it back to exactly as it was in the with the pre-inspection. Now, where it wasn't returned to the place as you found it, that is where the deposit is used. Now, you can charge, you know, landlords will charge a deposit of generally between 1 to 2 months worth of rent. If it's more than 2 months, you really should be a little circumspect of that. And the landlords can then use that deposit to fix whatever went wrong. But that's where it's crucial now to make sure that the landlords are giving you receipts for what they're fixed, and that they're only fixing what was really your wear and tear which broke it.
Yeah, and you also, you know, must keep that line of communication open so that they don't, because you get landlords, you know, sometimes that would get the highest guy, you know, come and do it, or highest price guy, you know.
You know, communication really is everything with these things. If you're the sort of tenant that have spray painted the walls and throwing house parties every night, you really should expect to have a bad relationship with your landlord. But if you're taking care of the property, you're communicating, then the law will be on your side, and you should be able to get back what's yours.
Keep it clean.
Keep it clean. Keep it in writing.
Just like that. Keep it clean. I like that. Eitan, thank you very much for joining us this morning. So there we have it. That's your audition for So What Now? That's the big question that we answered, hopefully for you this morning. But I think first and foremost, make sure that your documentation is in order and that there's a paper trail. Very, very important.
Well, I certainly hope you're sitting there with your notepad and pen taking down those notes on how to manage the tenant-landlord relationship. So much still going on your Feel Good Breakfast show on this Wednesday. The Good Things guy is here with some Feel Good this Wednesday. But right now, the news with Leanne.
Thank you so much, Tabiso. Finance Minister Tito Mboweni will deliver his anticipated budget speech 2019 today, and South Africans and key foreign stakeholders will be paying close attention to how Treasury and the government plan on addressing key areas of concern. International Relations and Cooperations Minister Lindiwe Sisulu has assured the diplomatic corps that South Africa is prepared and ready to go to the polls in May. 229 political parties will be contesting the elections on the 8th of May. Now moving further abroad, a Tanzanian court sentenced a prominent Chinese businesswoman dubbed the Ivory Queen to 15 years in prison yesterday for smuggling the tusks of more than 350 elephants to Asia, a big victory in the battle to stamp out poaching in Africa. U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders says that he will run again for president in 2020, making a second attempt to win the Democratic Party's nomination. The 77-year-old Vermont senator is an ardent critic of President Donald Trump and has described him as a pathological liar and a racist. And finally, South African chef Cobus van der Merwe has done it. His restaurant, Wolfgat, in the quaint fishing village of Paternoster on the Cape West Coast, has been named the overall global winner at the inaugural awards ceremony of the World Restaurant Awards held in the city where restaurants first started, Paris. An elated Cobus said afterwards he doesn't feel worthy and that he can't wait to celebrate the huge title with his staff. Wolfgat, situated in a 130-year-old fisherman's cottage, utilizes locally foraged ingredients in a Cape Malay-inspired tasting menu. Well done to Cobus. Time for us to take another look at what's happening in the world of sport. Here's Kat.
Thanks, Leanne. Now, both first leg games in the round of 16 last night in the Champions League all were played at a knockout kind of tempo but ended goalless. And out-of-form Bayern kept Anfield quiet, proving their champions' pedigree, shutting down the Reds in the midfield, while Lyon continued to prove their European credentials, keeping Barcelona's star-studded front three at bay. Now, tonight, the Premier League champions Man City go into their last 16 tie against Schalke in Germany, heavily favoured to keep moving forward towards their first Champions League title and fabled quadruple. Now, in the other game, Cristiano Ronaldo will be confident returning to his old Madrid rivals as Juventus take on Atletico Madrid, where the 34-year-old has now scored 19 times in 24 Serie A appearances. Moving into the local front, Mamelodi Sundowns failed to leapfrog Bidvest Wits in the PSL last night, drawing 1-1 against Polokwane City. Now, the home side scored early on through Tembazwane, but suffered a setback with a Dennis Onyango own goal. Pito Musime and his men's now remain 2 points off the summit, and they'll be next taking on the Students on Saturday, while the league continues tonight as SuperSport United face Orlando Pirates. And finally, in the domestic one-day cup, a century from Kyle Verreynne led the Cape Cobras to a 3-wicket victory over the Knights. Despite the best efforts of Merchant De Lange ending on 3 for 45, Verreynne scored 114 not out off of 119 balls to see the Cape side surpass that target of 282 with 3 balls to spare. The Cobras now take on the table-topping Dolphins on Friday. And that's a roundup of the major sporting headlines.
Thanks so much, Kat. Let's take another look at your roads this morning. Starting off in Fairland and Gauteng on the N1 northbound, there has been an accident after Malebongwe Drive. 2 lanes are currently obstructed and causing delays. Please be patient on the roads. Western Cape CBD, the budget speech will be delivered in Parliament today at 2 p.m. Heavy traffic is expected around the Parliament precinct. Please find an alternative route this afternoon. Off to the trains, there is an extended travel time of 15 to 20 minutes on the Wellington line. This is due to speed restrictions and manual authorization of trains at Wellington. Your next report will be at 8 o'clock.
Thank you, Tabito. Let's quickly take another look at your weather and your temperatures going into your Wednesday. Before we do so, we received another beautiful picture from Kerry Lynn. Good morning, Kerry Lynn, who sent us this beautiful sunrise from Cape Town, where cloudy conditions are expected today with cooler temperatures reaching a maximum of around 25. Kerry Lynn, thank you for taking that picture and sending it to us. Have yourself a beautiful Wednesday. Remember, you can still post some pictures. You can just take those pictures, showing us what it looks like in your parts of the world and posting them on our social media pages, Expresso Morning Show, SABC3 on Facebook. Facebook. Your temperatures for your Wednesday, Polokwane starting off on 16, your maximum 30, Mbombela 18:32, Pretoria 17:29, Johannesburg 15:28, Mahikeng 18:32, Klerksdorp 17:32, Kimberley 16 and reaching a high of 37 degrees, Bloemfontein 14:33, Richards Bay 22 and your maximum 33, Pietermaritzburg 16:36, Durban 23 reaching a high of 30, Mthatha 16:36 today, very hot, East London 19:29, Cradock 14:35, Port Elizabeth on 18, your maximum 25. George 16:24, Sutherland 12 and a high of 27. Cape Town 18:25, Worcester 15:32, Springbok 16:32, and Uppington very hot day expected, starting off on a minimum of 21 and your maximum 38 degrees. That's a wrap of your weather and your temperatures for the 7 o'clock or 7:30 bulletin rather. We'll bring you a final update just after 8.
Well, on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, we love to bring you feel good news. And the Good Things Guy, launched in 2015 and over the past 4 years have grown into one of South Africa's most read online platforms, sharing daily uplifting stories that inspire confidence in our beautiful nation. Now, founder Brent Lindeque, he's on a personal mission to spread the feel good vibes. And recently, his blog walked away with its second consecutive Essay Blog of the Year award. Can we give him a round of applause?
Come on. Come on! Come on! That is why he's so cool! Great to have you here, man.
Thank you for having me. It's very overwhelming to be on the show and seeing the logo and hearing your intro like that. It's been a crazy 4-year ride.
Yeah. Tell me about when you hear the words blog post or blog of the year and best lifestyle blog. How does that ring in your ears?
You know, to create something that gets an accolade like that is insane. Imagine doing something in South Africa and being recognized as the best in South Africa. That's a bit bizarre. Like,
Yeah.
it's a bit of a crazy thing to do.
I just have to add a little drop for 2 years running. In a
Consecutive.
row. 2 years in a row.
Yeah, it's mad. And when I got the award, it's very overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because I just day in, day out try to find good news, write about it, put it out there, try inspire South Africans. To hear that I've won an award like that is just overwhelming.
We certainly need to hear more of the good news, and you've certainly been doing a fantastic job, hence the 2 awards. But I want to know from you, going back to the beginning, I mean, Good Things Guy is 4 years old. Did you ever think it would grow to what it is today?
Never, ever. It started as just an idea to inspire South Africans, and the idea was to share one good news story every day. And I started a Facebook page with a photo of someone and some sort of quote to go with it. And within a couple of days, I was inundated with good news.
Wow.
I realized there's just so much out there that it can't just live on Facebook. It needs to be a little bit bigger. And that was July 2015. By 1st of August, we'd started the website.
I'm picturing already right now a 24-hour news broadcast called, I don't know, the good news or whatever, but we're like 24 hours, they just report, just as much as we have, like, you know, other news. We could have that. Please just work on it already.
I think that's a great idea. And the reality is, we live in a really tough environment. South Africa is really tough. And the news that we have and the news that we see in mainstream media, it can be a bit disheartening. Right. The thing that Good Things Guy tries to achieve is, 1, change the national conversation, and 2, provide balance. That's all we need. Know what's going on in the country, but also have a balanced perspective of what's happening in our beautiful country.
And you're giving people a choice, eh? Like to start the day off and then reflect on what is good and then carry on in that vein, or maybe fill your day with other things. And that's a wonderful thing that you're doing, among which you've been nominated as one of the 100 most influential young South Africans.
What?
Let's talk about that for a second. I mean, what does it mean for you to be standing in that position?
I think what that means is it really means that what I've been doing over the last 4 years matters. It does change conversations, and people are starting to realize that South Africa is a beautiful place. We don't always have to focus on the negative news.
Yeah.
And that, again, an accolade like that, it's just a reminder that I'm on the right path.
Yeah. I wanted to know for you, you know, now having that award, what does that mean for you going forward?
So I think it makes it real, right? There's a lot of bloggers in South Africa that every day are putting their heart and soul into what they do. And the only way that we can survive is if businesses support us and partner with us and help us bring good news or bring lifestyle news about cooking or whatever the blog is. And for me, getting the award, it makes it real, and corporates are able to now latch onto that. I've got people knocking at my door that want to partner with Good Things Guy and want to help us succeed and grow even bigger.
Wow, man. When the idea is there and it lands on fertile soil, the passion is there, nothing can stop it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we can't wait to continue the conversation with you as well, just finding out more about these good words, good thoughts, good deeds. So good.
So good indeed.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, not only will we continue our conversation with Brent, we'll also be taking a look at the wonderful art of Gogo Dr. Esther Mahlangu, who brought her wonderful Ndebele creations to the Cape Town Art Fair that took place recently. Truly, truly phenomenal.
Clover Crush, 100% pure fruit juice packed with vitamins and no added sugar. Crush, your daily dose of goodness. Now also available in long life.
Made with love by Clover.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. I hope you filled up those coffee cups because we are back with the Good Things guy, Brent Lindeque. There we go. As he has recently won his second consecutive SA Blog of the Year award, and he's got some awesome feel-good South African stories that he's featured on the blog this past month. It's some recent stories, and you're about to share some of those with us.
Yeah, look, there's so many good things happening in South Africa every day. It's difficult to just choose a couple because we only have a bit of time to share stories.
Which is a good thing.
That's so nice to hear that.
Yeah, well, that's the truth, right? We're sharing up to 15 a day.
Yeah.
So I've had a look at the blog, and I've sort of selected 3 that I think matter.
All right. Okay. Give us your first one. I hear it involves one of our big restaurants in the country called Wolfgat.
Yeah, 2 days ago, Wolfgat won a global award that they are the world's best restaurant. The world's best restaurant.
Like in the world?
In the world.
There are millions of restaurants. Yours is the best.
Is the best, and it's...
Well done, Wolfgat. I mean, just from a purely South African point of view, that's worth celebrating.
It's a little restaurant in Paternoster. It only seats 20 people. It's only been around for, I think, like a year and a half. And it's really put Paternoster, South Africa, Cape Town, on the map for the world. Yes. It's absolutely insane. He goes out every day and forages for the food. So the food comes from locally sourced suppliers, or even he kayaks on a Wednesday to go get seaweed to put into his dishes.
What on earth?
Yeah, absolutely
That's
insane.
as organic as you like.
As organic and sustainable.
Yeah.
He employs people that are from the area, from the community. And if you watch the video that we've put up on the site, you can see that his heart, soul, and passion are in what he does.
Sure. Absolutely incredible. I also heard that they're fully booked for the next 3 months.
I'm sure as the days pass,
year.
those months just grow after winning the award.
Sure. Now, Brett, let's talk about the young cyclist from UJ who not only suffered a terrible accident 4 years ago, but also bounced back to become SA hand cycling champion.
It's a beautiful story, and I chose the story because it shows resilience. She was in a really bad space when it happened when she was 27 and paralyzed from the waist down, in a really bad space. It happened in a sporting accident, so she was very sporty at the time. Her brakes failed on her bicycle and she broke her neck and ribs and all sorts. And she thought that she would never be able to do sport again. She thought that was her life over for her. And someone along her journey through rehabilitation told her otherwise, showed her otherwise, made her realize otherwise. And she's gone on to also win an award where, I think it's in the H3 category, she's the best hand cyclist in South Africa in the H3 category. And her story will go on to inspire others that might be in her same position. So I think it's a beautiful thing to see.
Yeah, and that's the wonderful thing about all of these good stories and good things that you're sharing, is that they have the potential to ignite more goodness throughout, which is exactly what we want. And then finally, there's also a story that involves car guards. You know, where we live in a society, we hear so many stories about car break-ins and it's just sadness around it, but car guards who got the internet smiling.
So South Africa is a funny place because we're the only place in the world that has car guards.
That's also quite strange to think about.
If you mention it to any internationals, they'll be a bit confused. Why does your car need a guard? It's got an alarm, it does its own thing. But the reality in our country is we're faced with a lot of our population that can't find work. So the car guard idea has been created to look after our cars and also employ people, which is a great idea. This woman was visiting a Lone Hill shopping centre and she left her windows open for whatever reason.
Okay.
In the middle of a crazy Johannesburg downpour. It was raining, it was like torrential. It was really, really bad. And another lady had parked and she saw 4 car guards with their umbrellas come, find a solution, cover up the car with cardboard to make sure that it didn't get rained in. And Priscilla snapped the picture of this woman and of the car guards as well. And the beautiful part of the story is after the story got published on Good Things Guy, the woman in question found the post, realized what had happened to her car and went back and sort of bought a hot meal for the car guards and gave them a bit of a donation to say thank you.
That is what I'm talking about. I mean, please give us more of this. So wait, if there are people out there who have good words, good thoughts, good deeds that they want to share with you, how do they contribute to your blog?
So easy. Go onto the website. There's a contribute section, or you can email info@goodthingsguy.com. We try and publish as many stories as we can. So anything that gets sent in. They can also visit the social media pages and submit stories there. We're always looking for the good human stories of ordinary South Africans doing extraordinary things.
Oh.
God bless you, dude.
Amazing.
And grant you so much more.
And check out goodthingsguy.com, of course. I think it's all the inspiration you will need.
24-hour round-the-clock channel, Good Things.
Oh, man, that is so wonderful. I love hearing stories like this, and I love our beautiful country because, you know what, the preservation and appreciation of arts and culture in South Africa is a very important and vital process in, you know, keeping the spirit of South Africa alive and celebrating who we are, especially when it comes to our heritage on an international platform.
Absolutely, and one prolific octogenarian that's doing this with excellence is Gogo Esther Mahlangu, who's really flying the South African flag all the way up high. Now, Katleho got a chance to go sit down with her and gain some valuable life lessons at the latest or most recent Cape Town Art Fair. Have a look at this.
Gogo Esther Mahlangu, a name that is associated with visionary Ndebele art and sought after collaborations with high-end brands. Now, the artist behind that name is an 83-year-old maestro whose verve and vigor has no end in sight and whose work is being celebrated at this year's Cape Town Art Fair.
Just last April, she was presented with an honorary doctorate from the University of Johannesburg for her legacy as a cultural entrepreneur and for skillfully negotiating local and global worlds.
Gogo Esther, when you think back to the days as a little girl learning your art form, did you ever think that it would take you to a place where one day you would be called Dr. Esther Mahlangu?
No, ngingacabanga bona ngaba ngidokotela nami yasangifikela nje bona ngikhamba amazwe. Khamba amazwe manje ngamgwalo. Hayi bengazi.
Beginning painting from the age of 10 and following in the Ndebele tradition of females learning the skill of mural painting, she first gained international attention in 1989 at the European Art Exposition, and she has been leaving her mark on the international scene ever since.
You've also had the opportunity to work with many big brands around the world, car companies, you can name them. Which has been your favorite project?
Bayafana bonke mina akakho kwangiphatha kumbi ngibereke kamnandi konke la ngidlule khona bebangiphethe kamnandi akukho lapha ke ngaqhubeka khona.
Now, after all the acclaim that you've received from the world, you've still brought it back home and you've established a school in Mpumalanga. Tell me about the kind of legacy that you'd like to leave through the school.
Mina ngithi mtele bahloniphe umuntu omkhulu bakhule njengathi thina sakhula sihloniphe nabo bahloniphe njengathi bazakhula bebaluphale babe ngangam njengona nganga inhlonipho debayibambe leyo.
It's no doubt that with such accolades like working with the likes of John Legend on bottle art, collaborating with Nelson Mandela and being the first female to design a BMW art car back in 1991, she would be front and center at this year's Cape Town Art Fair.
Tubelo, tell us a bit more about this wonderful exhibition of the artwork of Dr. Esther Mahlangu.
So here we have a presentation of works by Gogo Mahlangu, who is an incredible painter who brings to the fore the rich cultural history and legacy of people from South Africa. And I think looking at these works in relationship to our young emerging artists, to our more established artists and international artists, it's a great conversation about what art means and where people can intersect and understand different forms of art. We're always thinking about how can we present a variety of art, that art is, as much as it's understood as paintings and sculptures, but it's more than that. You know, it's also about, you know, a way of thinking, a way of living. Gogo Mahlangu brings that to the fore. She reminds us how to live a rich life that is informed by our cultural history and heritage.
Why was it so important for you as the curator of the Cape Town Art Fair to include her work in this year's exhibition?
I think the most significant thing about the work of Gogo Mahlangu is that it has always been there. We just haven't looked at it. And I think today, you know, the fact that Africa is becoming more present globally, this is the moment where we can really celebrate some of the, you know, struggles and some of the challenges that a lot of African artists have had. And I think Dr. Mahlangu represents that legacy of neglect, but of new recognition.
Occasions such as this allow the broader public to truly appreciate what this iconic South African artist has done in not just carrying the art from our country, but also part of our traditions and our heritage into the rest of the world.
Mama Mahlangu is one of my inspiration artists because in my work as a printmaker, I specialize in woodcut prints. I use a lot of patterns. So in terms of colors, like primary colors that he used, there is an influence between my work and her works. Yeah, so I'm so happy to see it here.
It's very contemporary and you can relate to the work. The colors are amazing. And I think just looking at the work, it makes you feel good. And I think art should be about making people feel good.
Oh, this is honestly my first time seeing this work, but looking at it, it's beautiful and intricate. And the colors she chooses seem so random, yet they're so specific at the same time. And so it's really wonderful to see in person.
What are some of your other future aspirations and what would you like to achieve in the world of art in the years to come?
Mhlambe lokho kusaza ngifikela njenganje ngisaphethe lokho engikuphetheko usangichaza ukuthi angithovu abantwana aba nenhlonipho ibe khona phezu kwabo bahloniphe bengithanda njalo ukuthi nabo mama bagqugquzela abantu ababo isikhethu nomunye isikhabo unenamgcugcuzele. Uyangizwisisa? Nangilindrebele ngithi lotshani. Mangimsuthi ngilidumelanga. Nangimswasi ngithi nomunye aphatha isikhabo yabona. Hey, singafi.
It is true that art really needs very little in the way of translation in order to be experienced and felt. And this can be no more evident than in the appreciation shown for the work and prominence of Dr. Esther Mahlangu. Oh man, what a time to be alive. What a time to celebrate the legendary, the iconic Dr. Esther Mahlangu. Thank you very much, Mama, for your time and sharing of yourself with us through beautiful art, man.
It's stunning.
Yeah, and that's the thing with art, isn't it? Like, it lives on forever, despite
really
what happens.
Does. Speaking of.
Yesterday, we found out the sad news that Karl Lagerfeld passed away, but his art lives on through his fashion. You're quite a big fan of his.
Oh my God, I mean, who isn't in fashion and style? I mean, this guy was revolutionary.
I mean we wouldn't have a Nick Strillis if there was no Karl Lagerfeld.
He did not birth me physically, but metaphorically,
metaphorically,
absolutely, he's my mama and my daddy. He actually said something funny where he didn't want to be known as an artist because he said it was almost too grandiose. He wanted to be known as a fashion designer, as a publisher. He was someone who was really tongue-in-cheek and actually quite down to earth, although his quotes are probably anything but he had an incredible sense of wit and humor.
Yeah.
But I love his sort of go-to style tip. He said, every man and woman only needs 3 pieces in their wardrobe. They need a white tee, a good pair of jeans, and a jacket. That is it. But it really is, and it does come down to that. Those 3 pieces, guys, if you have them in your closet, you're sort of good to go. Good quality pieces, of course, we don't skip on the quality. If it's well made, that's all you need.
With the right fit, when done well, can be absolutely everyday wear, and you look stunning every single time.
Can I read, though, he was known for this outrageous wit and sense of humor. I just want to read a couple of his most famous quotes.
Regale us.
They're slightly offensive, but I mean, if I'm going to offend, what are we doing? So he said, quote, yes, some people say to me, you're too skinny. Let me keep in mind, he was once 200 pounds overweight. He lost about 200 pounds. He says, yeah, some people say to me, you're too skinny. But never a skinny person says that to me. Only people who could lose a few pounds say that. Oh, that's a bird. That's a bird. He said, I'm very much down to earth, just not this earth. I love that. I love this. I have no human feelings. I mean, I very much vibe with that as well. No, but I have a lot of things. And he said, I love this. Don't dress to kill, dress to survive. Isn't that powerful?
Let that swirl around a little bit in your mind.
But it is. I mean, style and fashion should be effortless, and you should have fun doing it. I mean, he was such a proponent of people not taking themselves too seriously when it comes to fashion and style, just owning it.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss him.
You are effortless, you are fun, and you are a proponent of people just living their best life.
Am I the new Karl Lagerfeld?
I think so.
Did you say that?
It's happening. Believe it!
No, I'm not ready.
Clover Crush. 100% pure fruit juice packed with vitamins and no added sugar. Crush, your daily dose of goodness. Now also available in long life.
Made with love by Clover. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome to it, your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, right here on SABC3. We've got lots on the go. Valentine Mate is in the building. More performances from her. Right now, let's see what's happening around the world with Leanne.
Thank you so much, birthday boy. Finance Minister Tito Mboweni will deliver his anticipated budget speech 2019 today, and South Africans and key foreign stakeholders will be paying close attention to how Treasury and the government plan on addressing key areas of concern. International Relations and Cooperations Minister Lindiwe Sisulu has assured the diplomatic corps that South Africa is prepared and ready to go to the polls in May. 229 political parties will be contesting the election on the 8th of May. On the international front, a Tanzanian court sentenced a prominent Chinese businesswoman dubbed the Ivory Queen to 15 years in prison yesterday for smuggling the tusks of more than 350 elephants to Asia, a big victory in the battle to stamp out poaching in Africa. U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders says that he will run again for president in 2020, making a second attempt to win the Democratic Party's nomination. The 77-year-old Vermont senator is an ardent critic of President Donald Trump and has described him as a pathological liar and a racist. And finally, pictures of a rare pink-bellied albino baby turtle that was born with its little heart beating outside its shell has captured the hearts of the internet. Although there is no name for this potentially life-threatening genetic defect in veterinary medicine, this condition is called ectopia cordis in humans. The baby turtle, whose name is Hope, has been living with Mike and Aquilina of New Jersey in the U.S. since November last year. Mike, who documents Hope's progress on his Instagram account, says Hope has managed to defy all odds and survive. He says although she's tiny and fragile, she is fearless. People are rooting for her around the world. She's spreading hope while also giving him hope, Mike says. May Hope continue spreading hope and grow stronger each and every day. What a feel-good story indeed. Time for a final look at what's happening in the world of sport. Here's Kat.
Well, we certainly hope that that story has generated a lot of so good feelings inside you as we reflect one more time on the sporting headlines this morning. Now, both legs, or first legs, in the round of 16 of the Champions League last night were played at knockout tempo but ended goalless out at Bayern. They kept Anfield quiet, proving their champions' pedigree, shutting down the Reds in the midfield, while Lyon continued to prove their European credentials, keeping Barcelona's star-studded front three at bay. Tonight, the Premier League champions Man City go into their last 16 tie against Schalke in Germany, heavily favoured to keep moving forward towards their first Champions League title and fabled quadruple. Now, in the other game, Cristiano Ronaldo will be confident returning to his old Madrid rivals as Juventus take on Atletico Madrid, where the 34-year-old has now scored 19 times for Juventus in 24 Serie A matches. On the local front, Mamelodi Sundowns failed to leapfrog Bidvest Wits in the PSL last night, drawing 1-1 against Polokwane City. Now, the home side scored early on through Themba Zwane, but suffered a setback with a Dennis Onyango own goal. Now, Peter Musimane's side, who remain 2 points off the summit, will take on the Students on Saturday, while the league continues tonight as SuperSport United face Orlando Pirates. And finally, in the domestic one-day cup, a century from Kyle Verreynne led the Cape Cobras to a 3-wicket victory over the Knights. Despite the best efforts of Merchant de Lange ending off with figures of 3 for 45, Verreynne scored 114 runs not out off of 119 balls to see the Cape side surpass the target of 282 with 3 balls to spare. The Cobras now take on the table-topping Dolphins on Friday. And that's a roundup of the sporting headlines.
And we take one final look at your roads this morning, starting off in KwaZulu-Natal in Durban North. On the N2 southbound, there has been an accident after the Umgeni interchange obstructing the middle lane. Please approach that area with caution. If you're in the Western Cape and the CBD, the budget speech will be delivered in Parliament today at 2 p.m. Heavy traffic is expected around the Parliament precinct. Please find alternative routes this morning. And off to the trains, the T3504 train from Wellington to Cape Town is delayed due to the T3404 train that failed at Goodwood. Please allow for an extended travel time. And Ewan is standing by with your final look at the weather.
That's right, Uncle Taba. Thank you very much for taking a last look at your weather and your temperatures going into Wednesday. But we do want to say thank you to each and every one of you that sent us some beautiful pictures this morning. So thank you to Ben Keeve for your sunrise picture from East London, as well as Liema Makatwase for your beautiful sunrise picture from Uitenhage in the Eastern Cape. And also, lastly, Kerry Lynn for your amazing sunrise from Cape Town. Thank you very, very much for those pictures. Have yourselves a beautiful day. Your temperatures now for the last time. Polokwane starting off on 16. 17, your maximum 30 degrees. Mbombela 18.32, Pretoria 17.29, Johannesburg starting off on 15 and your maximum 28. Mahikeng 18.32, Klerksdorp 17 and your maximum 32 as well. Kimberley very hot today, starting off on 16, reaching a high of 37 degrees. Bloemfontein 14.33, Richards Bay 22 and a maximum 33. Pietermaritzburg 16.36, Durban 23 and a high of 30. Mthatha 16.36, East London 19.29, Cradock 14.35, Port Elizabeth 18.25, George 16.24, Sutherland 12 and a high of 27, Cape Town 18.25, Worcester 15 minimum reaching a maximum 32, Springbok 16.32, and Uppington very hot today, starting off on a minimum of 21, reaching a high of 38 degrees. And that's a wrap of your weather and your temperatures for your Wednesday morning on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you.
A very happy birthday.
Please put a hat on me.
Listen,
hat on it.
from a show on SABC3 called Presenter Search, we got a lot of things. We got entertainment for days, you know, highlight reels. We got bloopers that we laughed at. But the greatest gift, surely, that we got from that was that of Thabiso Makubela, who today celebrates a very special day.
A whole 29 years old today.
Hey, when man, listen, you.
9 years old.
Last birthday in the 20s.
Yeah. Sadly.
Thabiso, we absolutely love you on the show. You've got a style all of your own, as we all know and love. And we've decided to put together a very special birthday present for you. This, my friend, is a little capturing of different moments on the show.
The best of Tabzi.
So good! Yeah, baby.
Yes.
What's happening?
Let's do that birthday dance that we rehearsed, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I wasn't here for that.
No.
Do not try that at home if you want your omelet to come out cruciferous or in any other appropriate way, right?
Slightly wet on top.
Not ideal.
Help.
I know the answer.
What is it?
Cure. The Cure Festival.
The Cure, yes.
I knew it was a four-letter
Well done.
word as well.
2-2.
So yum. We're going to take a break right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso. After the break, we're talking golf. But it's not just golf. It's not another day chasing balls. It's golf with the president. Yes.
Are you okay around the golf?
Golf with the president.
Oh, no!
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Oh! Yes!
Oh!
Don't try that.
Come on. Put it there. That was good.
What is that thing hanging from the roof? It looks like a...
One great giant ball of swinging. I don't know.
It could have been a boxing bag.
Tabzi.
That does not look like a boxing
Do you
bag.
want to go through that again before while we watch this? Maybe you can find a better descriptor. Take a look.
And let's take a look at your traffic. Starting off with some good news with the petrol price. The price of petrol is set to increase by 7 cents per litre. That's not so good, but it'll cost you 14 Rand and 8 cents per litre. Diesel is set to increase by 1 to 2 cents per litre. I don't know why I thought that was good news at all, costing you 13 Rand 16 cents per litre. That is where we That's where we leave your traffic report for the morning. Yeah, listen, I'm going to be leaving this place now. I'm working half day. I'm leaving, but you know what, Graham? Kat, Leah, and Zoe, they've got you covered. I know, it's a sad time, but I'll be back tomorrow. Mwah. So sweet.
Hey, listen, you are such a beautiful and important part of this family.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for bringing yourself every single day and like just lighting up our candles as well, hey?
Thank you.
You truly mean it. Happy birthday.
Love you,
I'm waiting for the shady lady to say something. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I was like, I feel like we took the safest Thabiso moment there.
I was really nervous about what was going to be on there.
With the president.
President.
Hey, listen, go out onto our social media platforms and wish Tabzi a happy birthday. Show him all the love in the world.
Show him how much you love him and appreciate him. You're about to say, Lee.
Yes, we have a birthday song for you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. This is your birthday song. It is a very long. Hey!
We do have a longer birthday song for you.
Okay.
Performed by our guest artist.
Just for me?
It's for you.
Oh, my
yes,
word.
it's called Time. Go, Valentine. Do your thing.
Happy birthday, Tabiso. Shout out to Drop Hope. This is called Better Days. So many years have passed by, baby. Without your heart, without your touch, without your smile. How can the tables turn so quick without a warning or a sound? Oh, I am bleeding, but you can see it. No, you'll never see it. I pray for better days. I pray for better days. I pray for better days. Ooh, why call when you wanna call? Why hold me when you want to? Why? These are the questions I ask myself. Hell and back through the tough times, I was there by your side. You never realized. Hey, so I can't take it. You never see me. You never know me. You never know me. Hey, oh, I'm telling you now. You'll never see me. Better days for my life. Better days for my life. I'm done and out. I'm proud and out. Oh, I pray for better days. I pray for better days. I pray for better days. Ooh, why call when you wanna call? Why hold me when you want to? Why? These are the questions I ask myself. Ooh, so these are the questions. These are the questions. Hey, so I can't take it. No, you can see it. No, you'll never see it. I pray for better days. I pray for better days. I pray for better days.
Oh, yes, yes.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Man, what a voice.
Fry us, we are your eggs.
Yes. Fry us, we are your
Sharika
eggs.
us on that fish only.
It's a hot performance, that's what I mean.
It's a hot performance.
Wasn't it hot, Sis Princess?
It was hot. Do you want something to cool down?
I do want something to cool down.
I think you can do with the strawberries and cream frappe.
Oh, Sis Princess, do you have one of those for us?
You see, watch, I just...
Oh, thank you.
Just like that.
Yeah, because you knew what was in my mind. Thank you.
I knew it. Listen, we're going to be taking a very quick break. When we come back, we connect with our friends from Medicare. We talk about how you, women specifically, can take better care of your health. Some good tips and tricks right there.
And then we will open up the lines 0214309881. Chef Arnel Potgieter. Oh, there we go. Squeeze. Yes, there she is. Okay. Chef Arnel Potgieter and Chef Tash are in the kitchen. You know what time it is. The culinary hotline bling. Ting, ting, ting. Is on its way after the break.
Have you found the one? Try the new McAfee strawberries and cream frappe and enjoy a little moment of lovin'.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Call us on your cell phone.
Culinary hotline bling.
It
can only mean one thing. It's a Wednesday, and you know what time it is. It's time for the culinary hotline bling. Sing, sing, sing! Chef Arnel Potgieter and Chef Tash Kileba are here. Our foodie panel, experts in their craft, masters of the culinary arts, ready to answer your questions. So if you have any questions to ask, please feel free to call us on 0214309881. Ladies Mandombazane.
So on
Delighted
Wellness
I
Wednesday
am
with
to be in your company. All right, let's take these questions because some of them have also come through from Facebook. And some very interesting questions that we got. One from Rosalind Peterson who asked how to make cheesecake. Cheesecake was actually one of my favorite childhood desserts while I was working as a waiter. I would spend all of my weekly earnings buying cheesecake on Sunday at Sunday lunch. And then like I'd have to just work the next week and get like, oh no, I was supposed to save it, but the cheesecake is so good.
What can you remember of the cheesecake?
Ooh, it had is it tart?
Yeah.
Kind of lemony flavor to it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Lemon cheesecake.
Yes, lemon cheesecake.
Rich.
So with a beautiful base of like cookie biscuit kind of. It was just a delight. Every bite, every mouthful was heaven.
Yeah, it's like velvety and sweet and delicious. Yeah. It's very easy to bake. The most important thing, your oven must be at 110 degrees, not 180 degrees.
Okay.
So it's a very low and slow process, 110 degrees. So you've got cream cheese, about 2 tubs of cream cheese, and about a cup of creme fraiche that you put together.
Okay.
And I'm going to add the sugar. And we're just going to whisk this up.
Could you use, is there a substitute for sugar that one could use?
I'm sure you can use it. I'm sure you can use any type of sweetener, a healthy sweetener. Yeah.
What was that?
Xylitol.
Xylitol you could use?
It's, the thing about what she's doing now is she's fluffing up the cream, the fresh cream and the cheese with the sugar. And that creates a certain consistency. It makes it, it stabilizes it. So you need something granulated, so xylitol, you can use that.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. What are you adding there?
A little bit of flour.
That is the bittest of flour I've ever seen added to any recipe.
Some vanilla extract and a bit of vanilla seed.
Wait, so what is the flours? Okay, then you're adding the eggs. But
and then just the eggs we're going to add, and then we're going to whip this up.
Sorry, Anel, I just need to know.
What the flour does is to stabilize. Remember, this is not a fridge cake.
Yes.
It's a baking cheesecake.
Oh.
So you add the flour and the eggs, they stabilize the cheesecake so they keep it firm.
Okay.
Nice and firm.
Yes.
Good. All
so
right.
we can mix this together, and you mix it quite well together. And you can add your bit of lemon that you like, or your lemon zest or flavors. Then what you do, you've got your loose bottom pan or tin with your biscuit base that you love. You add this and you bake it for an hour at 110 degrees, 110 degrees for an hour. But then the tip is to cool it down, open the oven for 30 minutes, let it cool down in the oven.
Okay.
Then you put it in the fridge and let it cool down further there overnight and set.
Yeah.
And then the next day you can put some sugar over it and brulee it.
Oh, goodness.
And remember your biscuit base, you would need to put butter in there so that it doesn't just crumble when you're cutting your cake.
Yeah. Okay, so it's biscuits
melted,
and
melted butter.
And then you're going to let that bake at 110 degrees.
Yeah, because the melted butter also hardens when it's cold.
Yes,
and it keeps it crisp. Yeah.
Okay. You know, I just needed to share this with you too. It's quite weird how simple little sounds, maybe smells, can really jog your memory.
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia. The sound that beating machine. What do you call that? Shocking. What is that thing called? Electric beater.
Yeah.
The sound it made against the side of that bowl took me back to 1993. In my grandmother's kitchen. It was with a plastic orange, and I remember an orange bowl that she always used to bake in, and her beater, electric beater, had these thick blades, and just to kind of make sure that all the ingredients were mixed in, she'd really get into the sides of it, and you hear it going.
Oh, and it's normally Saturdays.
Saturdays. I can tell how old you are. When I was, when my mom did the bakes, she used to use the rolling one.
Oh,
so I'll let you guess my age.
All right, 021-430-9881. Our lines are open. Nell and Tash are here to answer all of your culinary conundrums. So do give us a call. We'll be back with the culinary hotline playing Ting shortly.
Oh, I love our chefs in the kitchen. Not only for the fact that they're women, but they do so much. And we all know that women play such integral roles in our lives. They're mothers, they're wives, sisters, friends, very important members of the community. And they need to also make sure that they take care of their health in order to continue playing those important roles.
And it's so important. Today is Wellness Wednesday, and Ewan's about to find out with one of our experts to, exactly what is easy, affordable, and of course, what is fast in order to help our female viewers make sure that they look after their health and their well-being first and foremost.
So on your Wellness Wednesday with Medicare, right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, this morning we're focusing on women's health and wellness, because we know, in my eyes, women are superheroes. They often are. They're moms, they're wives, they hold down full-time jobs, and most oftentimes as well responsible for the family and household in terms of the running thereof. So it's a lot to take on board. So this morning we're dedicating this segment specifically for you, and we're hanging out with a Medicare expert pharmacist, Lebohang, to talk about women's health. Lebohang, thank you very much for joining us this morning once again, and I'm glad we're talking about this topic, our superhero women. Now, taking a look at health and wellness, specifically with regards to women, is there kind of a holistic view?
You know what, you started very right there when you said women are dynamic, they're all that and that. With us at Medicare, we believe that every woman is unique, and every condition that they bring is a unique condition. So as unique as they are, we at Medicare believe to treat every condition as it comes uniquely and individually as it deserves. And with this subject, usually it's a very sensitive subject matter, and it's very private. So we have to remember that with women experience so many stages before they can be grown-up women. In their lifetime, women experience like your menstruation, the first encounter. Then from menstruation, you have to deal with contraception. From contraception, you have to deal with pregnancy. All those issues have their own dramas and everything that you have to handle. Then from pregnancy is pre-care and antenatal care and prenatal care. You have to handle all of those. And then that's mother of all, menopause. So there's a whole lot of that, but we have to understand that we have to treat it individually and uniquely as it's presented.
And at Medicare, you have those professionals on hand.
Oh yes, starting from the healthcare professionals, from the floor to the pharmacist, to the nurse, to the doctor on site, everybody can handle the issues. Especially when a member comes to you, you know, people, especially women, will be very sensitive. They won't want to discuss it openly. So we'll offer that security. You know, when you speak of women's health, you have to empathize with the women. You have to make them understand that it's a common condition, whatever they're telling you. It happens to everyone at some given point in time. So once they feel comfortable with you, they can then answer any question. So you have to make them at ease so that when you ask questions, they come up front with what you need to find out from them. But sometimes you get those conditions like urinary tract infections, your sexually transmitted diseases, then those ones now, we cannot handle at the dispensary level. That's when we now refer you to our nurse, the privacy of the clinic. The nurse will take it further with contraception, because again, with contraception, it's not one size fits all. It's another unique case.
And once again, contraception is, I think, one of the most common issues that women have to deal with. And even though it is common, it's still a sensitive issue.
Definitely. And again, like I said, it's not a one-size-fits-all. Every woman is unique. Before you even suggest any contraceptive, we at Medicare, we have all healthcare professionals who are well-trained to assess the situation. We start by checking your lifestyle, your age. You have to consider things like this. You don't just put somebody on any contraceptive. But more than that, we have the nurses, professional, hand-picked, qualified nurses on site that deals with it. And they also get the help from the doctors also, like we have the video med. They can refer the matter to the doctor, who can even give, if there's any STIs there, they can give the treatment.
What I love in terms of hearing what you are saying with all of these issues, with everything that women have to deal with, specifically those sensitive matters and matters that's very difficult to talk about, Medicare really seems to facilitate this supportive role.
Exactly. You know what, with us, there's also, like, going back to the contraceptives, we have this campaign whereby you see the doctor, our video med doctor, like you come to the pharmacy, you come to the pharmacist, because the law doesn't require me to give you a contraceptive there and there. I can take you to the clinic, then the doctor will actually see you and give you a prescription on site. It can be a 6-month prescription, then you bring it back to the dispensary where I'll be loading it for you, and every month we can call you and remind you that you still have that 6 months repeat script that we can even deliver for you. So by doing that, you're never alone. It's a supportive system, and we make sure that you still comply with what we started at Medicare to start with.
And what I love about that fact is, because women are so busy, they don't necessarily have the time to run around or make appointments or go see a doctor. It's taken care of right there and then.
there and there as you get to the pharmacy. And another common condition that most women experience is your UTIs, which is your urinary tract infection. So the lady will just come to you and tell you about the frequency of urination. They'll tell you the urgency. When they get to the loo, it's just drop there. And sometimes they can even tell you they can see some blood. And then it starts worrying when they tell you about the color. Because usually when they come to the pharmacy and tell us about that, there's questions that we also ask. When did it start? How often is it? Are you drinking water? Do you exercise? Maybe it's dehydration. So with urinary tract infection, you'll get that urgency. The lady will be telling you, I'm in and out of the loo the whole night and all that. Or I'm seeing it's dark color or it's like burning sensation before. So all of that we take into consideration, and then afterwards we can treat you with self-medication, which is we can give some medication, some alkalinizers, and sometimes you can even add some anti-inflammatories because you experience some pain when you have that urgency. But failing so, if there's any color change again, that's when we'll refer you again to the sister who will do some urine dipstick in the clinic, and if she finds anything abnormal in your urine, she'll refer you to the video med doctor still in the clinic. Then you'll get, the doctor will just pop up as an online doctor that you can see and speak to the doctor and even give some history to the doctor. Then they can get the proper diagnosis for you. We immediately get a prescription for you, for the member, for the patient. Then she can bring it to the dispensary, then we dispense it. We as pharmacists will take it from there, counsel the member how to go about with the medication and also how to lead a normal life and avoid conditions like that again.
And I love the fact that confidentiality is key.
And we have to treat it like as professionally, as private, and also considering the norms and values of the member, because some members are not upfront with that. So you have to actually dig deep. That's why you have to create that environment where they can trust you.
Ask those questions. Lebong, thank you very, very much for talking about the subject this morning. Really appreciate it. Like we said, women are superheroes. So women's health and wellness, that is what we're focusing on your Wellness Wednesdays with Medicare.
Medicare, reinventing pharmacy for you.
We're going to take a break right here on your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. After the break, if you're struggling in the kitchen, this is your time to pick up the phone. Give us a call on 021-430-9881 because it's the Culinary hotline bling. Sing, sing, sing. Yes. This is the first time they've played along. Anyway, also still coming up, Valentine Mata. She's still in the building. She's going to give us one more performance, so stick around.
SABC3's Katlego Maboe has been nominated for a South African Film and TV Award, amongst the greatest in the Best TV Presenter category for Tropical Island of Treasure, Maldives. He set the challenges for the celebrity contestants, brought us riveting and captivating TV amongst the backdrop of the bluest waters in the Maldives. Support Katlego with voting for him as the Best TV Presenter for 2019. SMS K to 33665. SMSs are unlimited, so show your smooth support for Katlego. SMS K to 33665 now.
It's my feel-good breakfast show. Call us on your cell phone.
Culinary hotline bling.
That can
Yes, it can only mean one thing when you tune into Feel Good Breakfast Show on a Wednesday at this time. It's time for the Culinary hotline bling. Sing, sing, sing. Bling, the Queen of Wakanda, in die koningin van die koeksuster. In the kitchen.
Kan nie op haar lag nie.
We gotta call her. You gotta turn it down. Okay. Wendy is on the line. Good morning, Wendy.
Good morning, guys, and very good morning to you.
Listen, it's fantastic to have you on the line. Thank you for calling the Culinary Hotline playing.
Ting, ting, ting.
Yes, Wendy. Yes.
What I would like to ask is, why is it necessary to add baking powder as well as bicarbonate of soda to a fruitcake?
Okay. Why is it necessary to add baking powder and bicarbonate of soda to a fruitcake?
Baking powder is there to give it a little bit of a rising agent, and not a lot, because fruitcake is quite dense. And then bicarb gives that beautiful brown colour that you get on a fruitcake. Yes, just to balance it out. What would you say, Tash?
Especially if you're going to add vinegar, the reaction of vinegar with baking soda specifically, it gives the fruitcake a certain texture, which is nice and not as dense but fluffy.
Yes, because the acidity of it, when it bubbles through, it creates those small little pockets of air when you eat it, and it just monyels inside your mouth. You know what I mean?
I use wine in mine, so the wine and the bicarb also goes.
Yes.
Hey!
And then it monyels.
There's a lacquer cake there for dessert. Wendy, thank you for the question. Really appreciate it. Then, all the way from KZN, Wanda asked us, what can I add to rooibos iced tea to enhance the flavor? Great question.
I'm like a caramel girl. So I like to enhance the caramel flavor. So I add a bit of brown sugar, like dark brown sugar. Just a little bit of that, and that will enhance the caramel flavor. That's what I like.
What I love is using the zest of either an orange or a lemon, or even both. And what people don't really use in teas is herbs. So rosemary and orange, because of the oils in the skin, they go very well together. Then what you do as well, because you're making an iced tea, you want something very cold. Instead of using ice, take your orange segments, even pineapple, you can use berries, freeze them. Don't use ice, because that is going to dilute the taste of your iced tea. So freeze your fruit, zest the flavor of the orange and the lemon is in the zest itself.
Yes. You see, that's why you are the expert, because I would have just said, add more tea bags. That would have been my answer. Anyway, how do you get a nice and crispy, firm base for your milk tart? This is from Sajida Yusuf.
A milk tart is a proudly South African dessert, and normally that tart, the base of it is crumbly. So what I do is, instead of using the normal recipe, the ideal the recipe, the original one, I use half a cup of sugar, granulated sugar, 50 grams of butter. Then you fluff it up so that it becomes nice and light. You aerate it, and then you add 1.5 cups of flour and then 1 egg. And with that 1 egg, you mix it in the mixture, and you add an additional egg white.
Wow, okay.
To stabilize it.
There we go.
And then you blind bake it, it will never crack.
And that's why baking is a science.
Yeah. Yes. And if you use puff pastry, so what I do, I lay it into my baking tin, and then I put egg white that you whip up, and you brush it over the raw dough.
Oh yeah.
And then you add your mixture, your milk tart mixture, and you bake it in the oven. So what the egg white does, it forms a layer between your base and the filling. So your base doesn't seep into your filling doesn't seep in.
I tell you what, I wish we had more time for the Culinary Hotline bling. But of course, we have many more questions that we love getting from you, so send them through to Facebook. Next week when we do this again, call us. We've got the ingredients set out. We are ready to answer anything that you have on your mind with regards to the culinary arts. Thank you very much once again to the Queen of Wakanda and to the koningin van koeksuster. We'll be back again with the Culinary Hotline bling. Ting, ting, ting. Next week.
Just for you, Tabsy. Ting, ting, ting. We'll be tinging into this day, man.
Yeah, man.
29 is this brother of mine. I can't believe it. Happy birthday.
On it, and bringing it.
I've said it like a million times, man, but just
thank you.
Put it there. We love you, man.
Thanks,
we love
Yuri.
you.
I
really
love you
do.
too. Thank you.
Listen, here's something special for you. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to attend one of the most prestigious events on the annual social calendar? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. You tell me.
But I'll tell you. Yeah, cue the Verve Clicquot Masters Polo taking place at Valdivia Estate on March the 2nd of this year. And now you can have the chance to attend and also attend in style.
Oh, beautiful. Along with luxurious lounge seating, gourmet grazing tables, and private butler service, the prize also includes flights for two to Cape Town, one luxury dinner and lunch, and transfers during your stay. It is truly an amazing weekend and one to remember.
Exactly. Now, very easy to enter this experience of a lifetime. It really is an experience of a lifetime. All you have to do is click through the Afternoon Express Facebook page and leave a comment on the competition post telling us who you would take along if you were to win and why. Now, this competition will end on Monday, February the 25th. So you have literally just a couple of days just here. So make sure you enter right now.
Yeah.
T&Cs do apply, and they can be found on Afternoon's website. That's afternoonexpress.co.za. Yep, that's something you'd like.
Get entering.
All right, cool. We're going to be taking a quick break. We've got a special one coming up.
Yeah, we do. Valentine Mate, man. Her voice is just something else. She's going to be performing one more time for us right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show after the break.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. You tune into your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, right here on SABC3. What an absolute pleasure to be hanging out with you on this stunning Wednesday. It's the middle of the day. What are you doing there, my friend?
I'm
Are you
counting my money,
your
man. You must always stack it to the highest roofs.
Got money,
stacking it to the highest racks on racks.
Right. So here's the thing. From city life to adventure, wildlife to culture, breathtaking scenery to sun-soaked coast, there's always something to discover by taking a short left in our own beautiful country, South Africa. Now, we're going to play a little bit of a holiday Monopoly game this morning with Kat, selecting what experiences he would select with 2,500 Rand. You see, I already know how much money Kat has.
Yeah, stacking it to the perfect height. 1,000, 2,000. Yeah.
There we
Wait,
go.
hold on. That's 2,500 Rand.
Yes.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Have you got it?
Cool.
Anyways,
Yes.
so what I'm going to do is, so you just have to tell me how you're going to spend your 2,500 Rand, because showing you that you can go and have an awesome breakaway on a budget.
Do I have options?
You have lots of options. I'm going to run you through. Here's one. We're starting off in the city of Gauteng, the province of Gauteng.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
For one, you can celebrate the month of love with a Sunday lunch cruise. For two, on the Hartbeespoort Dam this February, and that's only from 1,069 Rand.
1,069?
Yeah, Baba.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other options?
Yeah, of course. You can take a short left to the Vaal River, and you can also land you on a luxury cruise, sipping on the finest champagne while you get a bird's eye view of the magnificent gentleman's estates.
I like
that, my friend, is from 1,015 Rand.
Okay, all right.
Okay, then indulge in a sweet chocolate experience and take a short left to discover the origins of this decadent treat. And once you're done sampling the finest chocolates, you'll be treated to a scrumptious lunch at Casalinga restaurant.
Oh.
Casalinga. And that's only
Okay.
from 1,020 Rand, my friend.
I like the sound of that.
Okay, you can also, in Gauteng, put pedal to the metal on a fully automated 100cc or 250cc semi-automatic quad bike and experience the thrill of quad biking in the Hakpoort. And then afterwards, enjoy a picnic in the untamed bush. And you can do that from 1,430 Rand.
I like the untamed bush.
That's cool, hey? On a quad bike, look at how romantic that looks. No, it looks womantic.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Somebody just gave me an extra 500 bucks, so like, I don't know. Yeah, that's amazing. But okay, carry on, because now I'm feeling like,
All right, let's get into the next one.
Holiday.
You can enjoy a 60-minute horse ride through Hakpoort's bushveld, and then afterwards take a leisurely stroll, followed by an intimate picnic that includes a basket of goodies and fine champagne.
I love a good gallop.
1,599 Rand. You
I
do?
love a good gallop.
Dude, you can't go wrong with a good gallop and champagne. Sorted. Perfect date.
Yeah.
Then take a time out and rejuvenate at a Hydromedica spa in the picturesque village of Hartbeespoort Dam. So from facial to full body massages, you can expect the very best in pampering at this wellness retreat. And you can explore that from 1,685 Rand.
What on earth? Okay.
Bro,
You still have more choices for me?
Dude, loads. Hang on, here we go. For an unforgettable day in the bush, go on an epic adventure. I hope you're taking note, man.
I am.
That includes, once again, horseback riding, quad biking, go-karting, and archery in Hackput, and that's all from just 1,995 Rand.
Now you see, so because I'm trying to max out, so like we're in Gauteng now, and I'm trying to max out, and what you've just given me now as a last option is like complete future-proofing myself survival mode. We're going horseback riding, we're going quad biking, we're going archery, go-karting as well. What more do I want? You know?
A lot,
I've got an inner Lewis Hamilton inside me. You know, I've got an inner Robin Hood, you know, on the galloping on, and I'm here. I'm about that life.
The only difference is you'll have champagne in your backpack, which is great. You see? Yes, winning at life. Okay, let's get on over to KZN quickly. So firstly in KZN, you don't need to travel to Venice to experience a romantic gondola ride. Yeah, exactly, you can do it there. Shot left to KwaZulu-Natal will see you sailing along Durban's canal with the city's night lights twinkling in the distance. Imagine rose petals scattered inside the gondola and a delectable picnic basket for two. 1,169 Rand, my friend.
And then the guy, the gondola captain, they're like, and
if he doesn't, then you can do it. You see?
No, I pay him to do that.
Yeah, no, for sure, but you can.
I've got my ningi
You got money, it's fine. So
that's
that's the one experience which I think is absolutely amazing. You know, travel to Venice in your own country, why not?
Amazing.
And then why not just a star-studded evening while enjoying a South Coast seafood extravaganza for two, and you can explore that from 2,000 Rand. So if you dig into seafood, this is one package that I think you cannot miss out on because it'll give you everything, the best of the best.
If it's Vindaloo, I will do.
I like that. Then let's go into the Western Cape very quickly. So that was our KZN features. Western Cape, there's no better way to discover the beauty of Cape Town than by triking along Chapman's Peak Drive on a trike. Now, this beautiful stretch of coastline was voted, of course, the second most scenic marine drive in the world, and you can explore that from 1,500 Rand. So if you want to get a bit of active scenery, definitely the one as well.
Excuse me, teacher?
Yes.
What is triking? What is a trike?
A trike has got 3 wheels.
Oh, so like bike is 2, bike and trike 3.
Yes,
okay, a bit more balance.
Yeah.
Okay, so do I have to choose one option out of all of those?
You've got 2,500 Rand, and like taking a look at those prices, if you're going to be managing, you can actually have more than one.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Okay,
in order to maximize on having more experiences, because I like a lot of experiences, then I definitely take the 1,015 Val River luxury cruise, because now Morantic vibes, we're doing that. Okay, so now that's 1,015. Okay, I'll give you change, right?
Okay.
Now I still have a few bucks left here. Now I must also think about, I love horseback riding. I would love to do that. And where's that? We could do that in Gauteng as well.
Yeah, man.
But now, it's getting, okay, I must make the choices that make the traveling to be done. Give me the horseback riding experience, because that's about 1,100, I think it is, if I'm calculating properly. And then with the rest of here, which is 500, 600, 700, 800.
So that is the horseback riding one with which one now? Just with the champagne, not with the archery?
Without the archery.
Okay, got it.
I'm trying to mix both of them into. And then I'm like, just. I'll need. Can you give me 15 cents, Baba? 15 Rand, and then we can.
Okay, I'll spot you 15 Rand, man.
There, we're done. I'm having adventures for days.
Bro, but this is, I think the whole purpose here is just to show that, you know, if you scratch together a little bit of money, you can really have an awesome deal for two. Because, I mean, there you have it. Everyone is a winner.
I can't believe you can ride a gondola in KZN.
Dude, I had no idea. But this is the beauty, and this is all about our beautiful country, because there are these gems, and they're just waiting to be uncovered. So I hope I've told you about a couple of gems. No, I didn't leave that secret out. But exactly, but that's what I say. Everyone is a winner with these short-lived deals. Wow. They're very affordable, where you can take a break in South Africa. Visit www.shotleft.co.za for great 2-for-2 deals. That's shotleft.co.za. Make sure to go check out the website. I've been on the website already. I've checked it out, and it looks amazing.
I'm just imagining, like, there in KZN, this guy is like, the captain's like, go 1940, go 1940, like
Not well. Cat's not well. Listen, we're going to take a break right here on your Feel Good Breakfast show. It is Expresso on SABC3. Valentine Mate, she is still here. And after the break, she's got one more song. But right now, there's something else for you. Have a look at this.
Gogo Estamahlangu, a name that is associated with visionary Ndebele art and sought-after collaborations with high-end brands. Now, the artist behind that name is an 83-year-old maestro whose verve and vigor has no end in sight and whose work is being celebrated at this year's Cape Town Art Fair.
Just last April, she was presented with an honorary doctorate from the University of Johannesburg for her legacy as a cultural entrepreneur and for skillfully negotiating local and global worlds.
Gogo Esther, when you think back to the days as a little girl learning your art form, did you ever think that it would take you to a place where one day you would be called Dr. Estamahlangu?
No, ngingakacabanga bona ngaba ngidokotela nami yasangifikela nje bona ngikhamba amazwe. Khamba amazwe manje ngamgwalo. Hayi bengazi.
Beginning painting from the age of 10 and following in the Ndebele tradition of females learning the skill of mural painting, she first gained international attention in 1989 at the European Art Exposition, and she has been leaving her mark on the international scene ever since.
You've also had the opportunity to work with many big brands around the world, car companies, you can name them. Which has been your favorite project?
Bayafana bonke mina akakho kwangiphatha kumbi ngibereke kamnandi konke la ngidlule khona bebangiphethe kamnandi akukho lapha ke ngakhubeka khona.
Now, after all the acclaim that you've received from the world, you've still brought it back home and you've established a school in Mpumalanga. Tell me about the kind of legacy that you'd like to leave through the school.
Mina ngithi mtele bahloniphe umuntu omkhulu bakhule njengathi thina sakhula sihloniphe nabo bahloniphe njengathi bazakhula bebaluphale babe ngangam njengona nganga inhlonipho debayibambe leyo.
It's no doubt that with such accolades like working with the likes of John Legend on bottle art, collaborating with Nelson Mandela and being the first female to design a BMW art car back in 1991, she would be front and center at this year's Cape Town Art Fair.
Tubelo, tell us a bit more about this wonderful exhibition of the artwork of Dr. Estamahlangu.
So here we have a presentation of works by Gogo Mahlangu, who is an incredible painter who brings to the fore the rich cultural history and legacy of the people from South Africa. And I think looking at these works in relationship to our young emerging artists, to our more established artists and international artists, it's a great conversation about what art means and where people can intersect and understand different forms of art. We're always thinking about how can we present a variety of art, that art is, as much as it's understood as paintings and sculptures, but it's more than that. You know, it's also about, you know, a way of thinking, a way of living. Gogo Mahlangu brings that to the fore. She reminds us how to live a rich life that is informed by our cultural history and heritage.
Why was it so important for you as the curator of the Cape Town Art Fair to include her work in this year's exhibition?
I think the most significant thing about the work of Gogo Mahlangu is that it has always been there. We just haven't looked at it. And I think today, you know, the fact that Africa is becoming more present globally, this is the moment where we can really celebrate some of the, you know, struggles and some of the challenges that a lot of African artists have had. And I think Dr. Mahlangu represents that legacy of neglect, but of new recognition.
Occasions such as this allow the broader public to truly appreciate what this iconic South African artist has done in not just carrying the art from our country, but also part of our traditions and our heritage into the rest of the world.
Mama Mahlangu is one of my inspiration artists because in my work as a printmaker, I specialize in woodcut prints. I use a lot of patterns. So in terms of colors, like primary colors that he used, there is an influence between my work and her works. Yeah, so I'm so happy to see it here.
It's very contemporary and you can relate to the work. The colors are amazing. And I think just looking at the work, it makes you feel good. And I think art should be about making people feel good.
Oh, this is honestly my first time seeing this work, but looking at it, it's beautiful and intricate. And the colors she chooses seem so random, yet they're so specific at the same time. And so it's really wonderful to see in person.
What are some of your other future aspirations and what would you like to achieve in the world of art in the years to come?
Mhlambe lokho kusaza ngifikela njenganje ngisaphethe lokho engikuphetheko usangichaza ukuthi angithovwa abantwana aba nenhlonipho ibe khona phezulu bahloniphe ngithanda njalo ukuthi nabo mama bagqugquzela abantu ababo isikhethu nomunye isikhabo unenamgcugcuzele uyangizwisisa nangilindrebele ngithi lotshani mangimsuthu ngilidumelanga nangimswazi ngithi nomunye aphatha isikhabo yabona singafi.
It is true that art really needs very little in the way of translation in order to be experienced and felt. And this can be no more evident than in the appreciation shown for the work and prominence of Dr. Esther Mahlangu.
Oh man, Gogo Esther Mahlangu is such an inspiration to all of us, and may she continue to fly the South African flag all the way up high. Sikulindile, sikujongile, sikubhekile, Gogo Esther Mahlangu. Now, still coming up, Mamelodi Stand Up, the very best of Koflaka. Valentine Mate, she's still in the building. Utoro performe lagere?
Yes.
Mugele, coming up after the break.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We're live, large and in charge. It's a Wednesday morning and so good to have you with us. What a day it's been, especially in the presence of the birthday boy, Tabzi.
Thank you,
Have you enjoyed
made
it?
also special. I mean, this is the only thing I've looked forward to this morning or today. Just coming on the show, just sharing this day with you guys. No, I mean it. I really mean it. Thank you so much. And that beautiful video that, you know, the team put together, I really appreciate that. It was so sweet. I love it.
Yeah. All you. All you.
Thank you.
29 and looking so fresh.
All right. Fresh.
Well, guys, it's time for it's that time of the day.
It's that time of the day for your positive message brought to you by Nairobi, and we want to make sure that you start your day off on the right note. And this is maybe something that you can keep in mind the minute you open your eyes tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
The minute you open your eyes, be positive. One small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day.
Wow.
One small positive thought in the morning can change your entire day.
Do you know what happened the other day? Do you have time?
Yeah.
Okay, we do. I woke up and I was like feeling like rather groggy, tired. And then I stood outside and I smiled. And as soon as I smiled, it's almost as if the engines in my body got...
Oh, man.
Like just by smiling, things got activated. And I'm like, whoa, did that just happen?
Yeah.
So it's weird. I mean,
it takes that small action.
Yeah.
A thought, a thing that you do.
Yeah.
It's also the power of the mind. I mean, you don't have to wait until tomorrow morning. It's still morning for another 3 hours.
Well, let's enjoy the rest of our morning here. Valentine Mate is our guest artist. Follow her at Valentine_Mate to check out her gig guides, what she's up to right now. Here she is performing her last song called Utando. Yes!
Shout out to Shuffle Music. This is called Utando. Inhliziyo yami ifuna wena
just too seasonal. Kodwa ngizokulandela la uyakhona ngoba ungifanele. Oh, sithandwa sami, can we be like this every day? Can you just show me you love me? 'Cause my heart can't take it anymore. Pretending to be happy, ngabe luthando, ngabe luthando, ngabe luthando, ngabe luthando lufanele. Oh, lufanele. Hey. Oh, lufanele. Uthando. Imizwa yami ifuna wena, kodwa uthando lwakho lungiqeda amandla. Kodwa ngizokulandela la uyakhona ngoba ungifanele. Oh, sithandwa sami, oh, muntu wami, oh, love wami. Can we be happy? Yeah. Ngabe luthando, ngabe luthando, ngabe luthando, ngabe uthando lufanele.
Expresso Morning Show, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.